Special opening day edition of the halftime show, which, again, now that Tyler is here, I may let Tyler just continue to bring us back in. That way, yours truly, Jay Phillips, doesn't get confused with the fact that I did this program for 16 years and now do the post-game show, and that every once in a while, Elijah Campbell likes to rag on me when every once in a while the words halftime show slip out.
Well, listen, as the host of the Extra Point, the Gamecock Club Hour, the Gamecock Central Takeover Hour, and the Halftime Show, I mess up show names at least once a day. And you can ask Jack.
I can attest to this. It happens all the time, but it's okay.
We just need to call. We just need it again. No, 9 to noon now just needs to be the Tyler Head Sports Experience, and just subhead it with whatever else.
Well,
man.
you know, when the PD gets around to changing names of things, maybe that'll happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not counting on it.
We'll see. We'll see. But it is our special opening day edition here on the game. Carolina baseball coming your way. First pitch at 4:00, give or take. Beautiful day. Again, a little chilly. It's I got 49 degrees in downtown Columbia right now, so it'll warm up just a little bit. And in all seriousness, we don't yet know. I know some people have been asking, have they made any decisions on Sunday because the weather doesn't look good? No, and they may not do that until sometime tomorrow. Jack, have you gotten any guidance on what that looks like?
I have heard there might, and again, do not quote me. Do not
No.
Anyone listening, don't take this.
This is written in very fine pencil.
Yes, this is yes, but it could potentially be a doubleheader tomorrow.
Right.
We will see.
Right.
But again, that is just from what I hear.
You know, both these schools want to play these games, and if you do wait and then something bad happens, and because you won't get a chance to, I mean, you won't make this one up.
Yeah. No, I mean, you know, Sacred Heart is going to. I think they're going to play Georgetown next weekend. So you know they've got to get back. So,
there's no makeup. I mean, you might be able to find a hole somewhere where you could play a midweek game to make it up on your schedule, but you're certainly not going to replay this particular team. So they'd like to get these games in because that's what it's all about. Before we talk a lot more baseball, because Jack's going to get out of here in just a few minutes. He's got stuff to go do before he covers the game today. Let's talk a little basketball real quick with you. Another just heartbreaker.
Yeah.
And a guy hit me on Twitter. We're going back and forth, a little bit about where coaching falls into this and talent falls into this. And he said, sometimes you got to blame coaching, and I don't disagree. But I also said, coaching didn't have Colin turn the ball over late. In a 1-point game, I think at the time. I'm not blaming Colin for the loss, mind you. I mean, that kid's playing well, but it just, I don't know what else they can do at this point. And I think that's what a lot of fans are looking. It's like, I mean, is it a talent thing? What's missing? How are they responding? These are all the questions. And now you go to a really tough place to play tomorrow night.
Yeah. You've had 6 games now where you've lost by 5 points or less. I mean, that's a really hard pill to swallow. And I mean, you made a nice effort to win that game. It's just you couldn't finish. I think that's the common theme here is that there's always something. It's not talent. Talent does not take you away from missing free throws. That is purely just missing free throws, right? Talent does not dictate the amount of times you turn the ball over. That is all, players, coaches, wherever you want to place your blame. I think it's the mistakes that you make during the game that are leading to these losses. And the other night, they only turned the ball over 9 times. Yeah, that wasn't the issue. But again, it's Ole Miss also shooting lights out at the start of the game, and then the free throws. Right. Yeah.
Well, something about those last 1 to 2 minutes of every single game, where no matter how good you're playing up to that point, things seem to kind of fall apart. And you saw that once again against Ole Miss the other night, and now you have another tough challenge of going to number 3 Florida. I know you played them to a point here, led up until the very last second of that game, but go on the road is a different animal in the SEC, and 0-12 seems to be looming right around the corner, unfortunately.
It does. And look, I'll be perfectly honest. I certainly expected from how Florida was playing when they came to Columbia a couple of weeks ago, I did not expect the game we saw where South Carolina held the lead for more than 39 minutes. And unfortunately, with just a few seconds left, UF took it. Carolina, had a look, but it was a long look. It didn't go in. Game over. You lose by a point. I joked earlier on our show this week, Tyler, with Elijah. I texted him during the Auburn-Florida game where Florida was just, for a large stretch dominant and ended up with a huge road victory. against those Tigers. And I said, make it make sense that South Carolina played these two teams to a combined 4 points. You didn't win.
Yeah.
And yet it looked like they should have probably both boat raced South Carolina the way they were playing.
Sure.
And that's the hard part. And again, I'm not absolving Lamont Paris of his responsibility. He's not absolving himself from it. But I heard him say the other night in postgame too, like, I can't be out there with him. And that's one of the things we talk about. I look at it schematically. I say he's got them prepared. And I think they're playing hard. I come back to more than anything else. And Elijah made a good point about this, that if you want to put some higher level of responsibility in what this team looks like, it may be in the evaluation process from the coaches in the offseason when they were going through the portal trying to find guys to fill holes.
Yeah.
And that you did not fill them in a like-for-like way. But in terms of the basketball they are playing,
Sure.
I find it difficult to say that Lamont could do a whole lot more to set them up for success. It's just not going in when it needs to at the end of a ball game.
Yeah, it's very clear this roster is not anything compared to what last year's was. And I brought this up the other day. In games where Colin Murray Boyles plays 30 minutes or less in the SEC, they're losing by an average of 25.5 points. So he plays more than that. You're obviously seeing these, tight games like we saw the other night against Ole Miss. Yeah, you just don't have the pieces around him, but I do give them props for trying. They haven't given up, and they could have folded at 0-7 or 0-8. But again, they take another ranked team down to the wire the other night, and they're trying their best. But something about the fundamentals just end up becoming flawed in those last couple of minutes. And look, I know Coach Ferris is drilling it into their heads, free throws and dribbling and passing and all that kind of stuff in practice every single day. But there's some kind of disconnect when they get into the right lights of these games, especially in those last couple of minutes. That's resulting in these losses. And again, talking about historically one of the, if not the worst seasons in program history when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and that's what's hard to take relative to just what was happening a year ago. And it's already, I think, part of the conversation is, unfortunately, I suppose, but necessarily at the same time, looking ahead to how you fill those roster holes next year. Colin is going to, more than likely be a top 20 pick in the NBA draft, and you'll lose a couple of other players. And you've got role guys that maybe are playing too many minutes, at least in an ideal sense. And when I say too many minutes, I don't want that to come across as like, what are they doing out there? But, you might not want to have some of those guys. And the other night, too, the bench scored, I think, 9 points.
Yep. Yeah.
And Morris Ugaso, who I thought was having a good season, he's still playing his minutes, but he's lost the stroke.
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the touch as of late. Conyers I don't think played at all the other night. Look, Cam Scott is not what people thought he was going to be as a freshman year.
18 minutes at Rupp, 5 minutes the other night. No, didn't take a shot.
Because that's the thing. It's like, okay, if the season's already kind of lost, why not throw him out there for more minutes? It means that they don't believe in him in the way that they need to trust him to go out there and play those minutes. And, what's an off season of more development and more coaching going to be able to do for him? We don't know, but I think it's safe to say he's not lived up to what people thought he was going to be as a true freshman.
No, that's fair. And I mean, I look at this is part of what we do. So these conversations are real. I'm not going to hide them. I've had some people ask me, is he going to be here next year?
It's fair. You ask that question about everybody every year now, because that's just the reality of it.
I believe so. But
has he hurt his stock of potentially going somewhere else while he played this year? That's also true too.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things to get to. Carolina and Florida from the O-Dome tomorrow night. I believe that's an 8:00 airtime, 8:30 tip. So the late game tomorrow. The game of the day tomorrow is Auburn going to Alabama. So that one's going to be all right.
What would have been more believable going into this sports calendar year? A 1-2 Alabama football game or basketball game?
Oh, certainly football.
Yeah.
Elijah asked me that. He's like, would you ever? No. And listen, until Bruce Pearl, Auburn didn't really care about basketball.
Alabama really didn't either until a couple years ago.
I've said before about Bama, historically in the history of the league, Alabama has the second most conference titles to Kentucky. There's obviously a wide gap between the two.
It's not saying a whole lot.
And when I was coming up, again, Robert Ory and Latrell Sprewell, they had a couple of pretty good teams, and I think Wimp Sanderson got them to a Sweet 16 one year. But yeah, other than that, they just didn't care. And I've joked about your alma mater before. I think I've told you this. Over in Athens, you could be like, take the men's basketball team away for like 3 seasons. Yeah. People look around and go, don't we have a basketball team?
Somebody that worked in sports radio there, we hardly ever talked about them because nobody really cared.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, we know what football is all about, but SEC is doing all right. But yeah, number 1 Auburn at number 2 Alabama tomorrow. in SEC hoops. It is opening day for Carolina baseball, though. That's our focus. We got plenty more to discuss on that. We are live at Village Idiot on Whaley. We'll get the Godfather to come say hey when the opening day special returns. Huh? I'll just turn it down. All right, say something.
Check 1 2. Check. The Yankees suck. Red Sox are awesome.
That's good. Cool. All right, welcome back in. 12 minutes in front of 1 o'clock. I guess as Jay Phillips, I'm playing the role of Terry.
Do you want to play the role of Terry?
Nope.
There's
But
a lot that comes with that, including being late to the show, which you were not today.
I was not. I was very early. I got here like 20 minutes early and helped set up and
But like
talked to Brian for a while.
out of habit, I actually stayed at the station until you guys went on the air, just in case.
Just to make sure.
So do you know what happened last year?
Oh,
for the
yeah,
show?
yeah.
Where I just started in the studio because Terry got in an accident out there
Yes.
and didn't get in till like 12:30.
Yeah, and
So-
I was just told, hey, just get here. You know, we're going to get started, and then just come hang out for a bit. So I don't think I got here until like 12:30.
Yeah. And because I was on the phone with him when it happened.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, here's what's I'm running late. And then I hear the phone go flying. I'm like, he got in an accident. And he sure did.
We're at the Whaley's Mill. We're not at Whaley's Mill. We're at Olympia Mills on Whaley, Village Idiot location. The Godfather himself, Brian Glenn, hosting us today, and he joins us now. You remember our buddy Captain Telegram?
Yes, I do.
Okay. He was on the morning show with me on the oldie station back in the day, and it was on a day when it had snowed. And you've been down here long enough to know that we don't do well in the snow
Correct.
in Columbia, South Carolina, and I'm fine with that as a lifer. I'm fine with that. But he was out and about doing traffic on a day where there wasn't much traffic.
In this trolley?
No, he wasn't in the trolley.
Okay.
I think he was just in a regular vehicle. But I'll never forget that. And I had to paraphrase it now. But he was doing his traffic report while he was driving, and he closed up as he was wrapping. He's like, "And I am about to get hit by a car," and he did. And it was the most surreal thing, man. And we were like, Cap, you okay? He's like, it's gonna be fine. I'll call you guys back. But he did. He saw some dude coming up behind him, and who I guess was going because again.
Knew we couldn't stop.
Yeah. And Pete, that's the one thing you can't go fast in this. And I think he was on like I-26 over near the Lexington Hospital. But you can't go regular speeds no matter what. And so some dude just, we heard it on the air, man. He's like, but he did. He said, and I am about to get hit by a car. And it happened.
If you think about it, if a Columbia lifer knows how to drive in the snow, they're really not using their time wisely.
Well, I think that's true. I think, well, again, part of the problem, and I say this again as a lifer, too many people in this town just always drive in bad weather thinking that it's a beautiful day in April. And you can't always do that.
Correct.
So I see enough of that. But anyway, enough traffic problems. Appreciate you having us, and I know we'll talk to you again in a little bit. All right, we thought about maybe we should just start calling this day like Tommy Moody Day.
I love it.
I think we should. We'll get working on that, and like this time next year, that's what it's going to be.
I love it. Miss them a lot, but on this day especially.
Yeah. I remember last year the whole family was here ahead of the big day down the street. And how cool that was. So. We do indeed. And you've got something going on here now. This is not just a season opener special. Every game day, all home games, right here at this location, a slice and a soda, $5.99, or a slice and a pint, $6.99.
That's right. Yep.
Pretty good deal.
Come down with a couple of your kids, get them a slice and a soda, get a slice and a pint before or after the game.
Beautiful.
Make it easy.
Beautiful. So again, all weekend long, and we got a home game on Wednesday. We got another home series next week with Milwaukee's.
Yeah.
Not the Brewers, thank God.
No.
Although that'd be fun.
I bet they're happy to get out of Milwaukee this time of year.
Yeah. Well, all these northern teams, man.
Yep.
I mean,
But
Sacred
Michigan's
Heart's
playing
coming
in is it Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aaron Fitz down there covering it. They got like 8 schools.
Lucky him.
That's what I told Aaron. I was like, man, you got the short straw for the D1 baseball staff having to go to Puerto Rico for a week.
I wonder this may be the first tomorrow or tonight might be the first time Sacred Heart has played outside.
Maybe.
I mean, there's snow on the ground in
Yeah.
Connecticut. right now.
Yeah. That's a good point, man. I don't know, but I know these northern. One day I want Carolina to go to one of those like multi-school tournaments.
Yeah, that'd be neat.
But
They do the one at in Globe Life every single year. It's always
Yeah.
a big deal.
I think.
I'm good with opening day being right here.
I was
I
gonna
get
say,
it. Yeah, I was gonna say, it depends on who you ask.
I think Brian would take every game
Depends on-
being a home game.
That's fair. Well, I think Carolina. I don't know that they will because I do. In all seriousness, I think because of the extreme popularity of Carolina baseball that you maximize all your home weekend opportunities.
Yeah.
That
Seems
makes more
way.
sense.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you again about some pizzas and whatnot too. But you and I roughly the same age. Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special coming up. How excited are you?
I'm more excited than I thought I would be. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. When I heard they were going to do it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I'm excited.
Yeah, not that it matters how old you are. I mean, you like Saturday
Yeah,
Night
everybody
Live.
has their era of Saturday Night Live they
Yeah.
get attached to, and
Yeah.
mine was late 2000s, early 2010s.
I was thinking about that. I'm kind of a bridge kid. Like I remember watching. I started watching when Eddie Murphy was on, but I would tell you that the cast where I like kind of came of age was like Lovitz, Carvey, Myers,
Mhm.
Jan Hooks, the great Phil Hartman, rest in peace.
Awesome.
Kevin Nealon, that crew.
I threw on one of Adam Sandler's old comedy albums just like last week for the first time in about 20 years and laughed hard.
Yeah, he's the list on Sunday. They could do 6 hours and not do enough.
They could.
I think it's a 3-hour special, but I am looking forward to that. All right, today's pie special is
That's
the monthly special.
It's the asparagus.
Okay, and then today's other special, Radio Fire.
Yes.
Some dude came up with it. I hope people like it.
Inspired by some guy who's on the radio.
Some
it's,
guy.
Pepperoni sausage, banana pepper with a sriracha swirl on it.
Beautiful. All right, we'll talk to you again in a little bit. Appreciate you hosting us.
All right, thank you.
Hour one of the books, our opening day special. He's Brian Glenn. Tyler Head and I will be here. David Cloninger joins us next hour as well. Happy baseball, y'all. We'll be back.
.1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Shepherd's Glass has provided commercial, residential, and auto glass installation, repair, and replacement to Columbia for over 50 years. Large retail storefronts, auto, custom shower enclosures, and mirrors for that remodeling or new construction project. Visit shepherdsglass.com to see and learn more. Now with 2 locations on Flat Springs Road in West Columbia and Chapin at 855 Chapin Road. shepherdsglass.com.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality.
Looking for a tow that won't drive you insane? Schroeder's Towing has got your back and then some. With almost 1,500 Google reviews and a near 5-star rating, Schroeder's Towing is practically the most respected hookers in town. Whether you're stuck on the side of the road or just need a lift, our reliable service is always ready to roll. Call Schroeder's Towing today.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest hookers in town.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Honey!
What's wrong? I thought you already left for work.
The garage door is broken. It won't open and I can't get my car out. I can't miss this meeting today. Everyone is coming in for it.
Relax. I'm texting OGD right now.
What is OGD?
OGD, Overhead Garage Door. They're the garage door experts in Columbia. Take my car in the driveway and OGD will handle the garage. They have same-day service and they'll get the garage door fixed today. Fast and easy.
Wait, with just one text, you can get our garage door fixed same day by OGD?
Yes, OGD will get it done, no problem. Now, you need to get to work and let OGD worry about the garage door.
Garage door broken, stuck, slow, or squeaky? Text OGD, the only name you need for your garage door. Text TIGHT to 200-300 right now. Text right now and get an exclusive link to special limited time savings. Don't wait. Text the word TIGHT to 200-300 now. Text TIGHT to 200-300.
This is Bill Gunn for Old Timey Meat Market. I spend my nights with my son, my daughter, enjoying cooking out with Old Timey Meat Market Foods, and you need to visit one of their 3 locations. St. Andrews, South Congaree, and Lexington, where you'll find their shelves stocked with various cuts and grades of beef, pork, poultry, seafood, and of course, exotic meats. Selections are always fresh, never frozen, competitively priced, and of the absolute highest quality. So get all of your needs at Old Timey Meat Market.
Old Timey Meat Market. Quality selection, a color above the rest.
Mark your calendars for Thursday, February 20th at 5:30 p.m. Northside Baptist Church and the Men of N proudly present the 10th Annual Sportsman's Banquet. They're honored to welcome Rick Burgess, the dynamic co-host of the legendary Rick and Bubba Show, as their keynote speaker. Tickets are just $10, which include dinner from Hudson Smokehouse, live music, silent auction, and giveaways from their sponsors, including 15-plus big-ticket items from Palmetto State Armory. Secure your tickets today. Visit them at Facebook or menofn.org for all the details. Act fast. This event event will sell out.
It's time for the Columbia Boat Show, February 21st through 23rd, presented by Putnam's Harbor at the South Carolina State Fairgrounds. Explore hundreds of boats from over 75 brands and find the perfect boat for life on the water. Enjoy exclusive deals on marine products, chat with experts, and dive into family fun with face painting, live music, food trucks, and kids fishing clinics with free rod and reel combos for each participant. Don't miss the Midland's premier boating event, February 21st through 23rd. Visit thecolumbiaboatshow.com to purchase tickets today.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. It's 1 o'clock. Time to talk football, and more football. Sponsored by Atlantic Windows and Doors on the Halftime Show, on the Game Network, and on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, 1 o'clock Friday. Welcome back in. Special edition. Is it football?
Today's a special exception.
Okay.
I think Terry may have.
Well, listen, this is
change out the imaging on that, but
listen, man, this is your show.
You're the veteran.
The rest of the way, I'm going to let you start bringing it back in. But welcome aboard. Jay Phillips here. Tyler Head is with me. We are at the Village Idiot Whaley Street location, Olympia Mills. Come say hey. We just had a slice of the monthly special, the asparagus,
which Brian did have to be explained to what yas meant. Do you know what yas means?
Tell me.
It's a very Gen Z way, millennial way of saying yes. Okay. A lot of emphasis on it. Very like Instagrammy, I guess, is the way to describe it.
Like when the Kool-Aid man used to say, "Oh yeah," different.
I guess you can make that comparison.
That's the best I got.
It was, something that every teenage girl said when I was growing up.
Okay.
As an emphasis for something that they liked.
Okay.
So
well,
that's the best way I can explain it.
Well, I will say it was quite delicious.
Your daughter could probably explain it to you.
Okay. Well, I got
there. You go.
Which one? The youngest one or the oldest one?
Probably both.
Okay. I got one who's 25 and one who's 16.
That's
two
perfect.
in between.
There you go. One of them will
somebody
be able
knows.
To explain it.
All right. This has
but it's good.
Sausage, bacon, peppers, a little bit of a roasted asparagus, which is actually quite delicious. I love asparagus anyway. And like a pesto swirl.
Yep. It's the best asparagus I've ever had.
It's good. Ford would not have eaten this.
You told me he doesn't eat green vegetables.
I think he, maybe he eats some green vegetables, but I would bet you that Terry would have very politely and not within eye shot of Brian pulled the asparagus off.
Out of all these things that we've done, I don't recall him seeing him eat any vegetables. So might be right.
We went to home team one time. We had a meeting with some folks at Carolina, not an on-air thing, an off-air thing. And Terry and I stayed and had dinner, and my wife and daughters came down or whatever. And the collards at home team are just amazing.
Okay.
All right. And I will eat them all the time. And he had this look of like, I don't even know why you would put something like that in your mouth. And I'm like, bro, this is what we eat down here.
Yeah.
But he got the baked beans. So that's a quote vegetable.
Sure. I mean, like potatoes are vegetable. Gets French fries everywhere.
It comes out of the ground.
Yeah, it's my favorite vegetable personally.
I'm a big potato fan.
Hey, it's the most versatile of all foods.
Dude. It is, no question. But we appreciate. Brian has also brought me a slice of Radio Fire. Yes, I kind of came up with the name. I am not like my buddy Jason Snyder. I don't have this on the menu yet. I'm working on it.
Okay.
But Radio Fire, kind of just a play on Radio Flyer, like the old wagon.
Okay.
That's why I said Brian should call it. But it's pepperoni, sausage, banana peppers. And he today, now this is where Brian comes in as the chef that he is, even for pizza. He added a sriracha swirl. What I usually do is just douse it. Not I say douse it, but I put a lot of chili flakes, red pepper flakes.
Sure.
And but he said, try this. So he's added a sriracha swirl. So that's the slice of the day.
Maybe he'll add it to the menu.
So please come enjoy it. Tell me what you think, or get anything you want. We're here. They're here all day. We're here until we get ready to head down to the ballpark for a 4:00 first pitch. David Cloninger will join us with more baseball talk coming up in just a little bit. Meanwhile, there are a couple of things out there in the sports world. Since it's football,
Sure.
I will mention this. Have you seen this story? The New York Giants owners, the Mara and Tisch families, have now engaged one of those big mega banks in New York to help them sell 10% of the team. So they're not selling the team, nor are they going to do anything that would prevent them from having majority control of the team. So 10%. And it's the New York Giants. Now, you might say, so what? They stink. Yes, of late, unfortunately for Giant fans, they have. But, Tyler Head, last year, Mr. Jeffrey Lurie, who owns the Eagles, and they're doing all right, sold 8% of his team. And the sales price then made, since it was a real transaction, the sales price, like per share, made the Eagles' value $8.3 billion. The New York Giants will be worth more than the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, so I'm looking at this. This is a Forbes list that came out in August of last year. They ranked the Giants the fourth most valuable franchise in the NFL at the time at $7.3 billion. Most valuable, of course, the Cowboys at $10.1.
Yeah. Who's next?
Cowboys, Rams, Patriots, then Giants, then Jets after that.
Where's the Steelers?
Steelers are...
Sorry, y'all, I'm eating pizza.
Yeah, let's see. Steelers, according to this list, actually 17th at 5.3.
That's crazy.
Between Tampa and Atlanta.
The Rams, I get it because they're in LA, and that's part of it, just the value of where you are. And that was one of the reasons that Stan Kroenke moved from St. Louis to Los Angeles and then went and built a palace.
But the Chargers are 20th.
Yeah, because there's no market for the Chargers in Los Angeles. There's a decent market for the Rams in Los Angeles. I still think the Chargers ought to move back to San Diego.
Even the Rams are fifth on the list of most popular teams in the city.
Well, I mean, when the Rams host the Niners, it's a Niners game.
When the Rams host a lot of teams, it's a home game.
Yeah, but I know. I mean, I not that I've been to one, but when you see the Rams.
There's certain colors that show up.
Yeah, when you see you see a Rams Niners game, and it's a Niners game in LA. But so valued last year at 7.3. If the Eagles had an actual sale that made them 8.3, I mean, are we going to see the New York Giants valued for real now at something greater than $9 billion? Maybe. I mean, it would not surprise me in the least.
No, not at all. And again, it's all about where you're at. And again, you're talking, I know they're in New Jersey, but still the biggest media market in New York, and the Jets are right there behind them. And yeah, that would probably be somewhere in the 8-ish to 9 range.
Would you say the value of the Jets? Well, at least
the Jets are at 6.9,
okay,
which is fifth.
Well, that's crazy to me. I know why. It's New York City. I totally get that. But, again, historically speaking, at least, the Giants are so far ahead of the Jets. But anyway, so the Giants are going to sell some of the ball club. And I just, again, imagine if, and because Jerry Jones is never going to sell his team, and he's going to pass it on to Steven, who's not going to sell the team. And why would you? But what if they did actually sell? If they're valued at, when you can look and project, and then that's when you basically hang the shingle, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is like for sale.
You got to go higher than that.
Yeah. Now who wants? Because there'll be a market.
Sure. 13, 14, 15, something like that.
I would think, man.
Something crazy.
But I could see
and it might be a Saudi public investment fund that buys it.
That's who'd have to do it.
That's a lot of money.
That's who'd have to do it. Unless Bezos comes in or one of those guys these days, or I don't know, Bill Gates. But I don't think Bill Gates clearly doesn't want to buy a team.
I say he could have bought.
Yeah. He
would a long time ago, and he would have.
Well, because his two partners had, the late great Paul Allen bought the Seahawks, and Steve Ballmer bought the Clippers, and I think they had some other things. That's what Paul Allen did. He got out of Microsoft and was like, I think I'll buy the Seahawks. That sounds fun. And I think Paul Allen bought the Trailblazers as well.
Maybe. Well, wouldn't you love to have that level of disposable income? You can buy the Broncos.
Hey, not anymore, man.
No,
now it's Walmart people. I can't. If it was the Target guy, sure.
Yeah, maybe not prying that one away.
Sure. But Unfortunately, no. Once the Walmart folk came in, I'm out of that race. Speaking of football, the Kansas City Chiefs, I think this is not an ultimatum, but the Kansas City Chiefs are giving Travis Kelce roughly a month to decide what to do. He makes about $15 million in salary. He's also due an $11 million bonus if he is on the squad next year. So, he's looking at what, 25, 26, 27 million next year. We had a poll question that Elijah and I did yesterday about this. Do you expect Rodgers or Kelce to return? Elijah and I said, we expect them both to return for what I just said. You're going to make a good 8 figures next year. Why would you turn that down? Now, he might.
Yeah.
He might. But a month, and again, they're not doing it ultimatum-wise. It's just the league's business has to be done.
There's a league calendar, and also got to know, hey, got to look at free agency, got to look at the draft. If you're not going to be back, and for as I would say, feeble is not the right word. He's definitely showing his age. Still had a very productive year, 823 yards and 3 touchdowns in the regular season. There's a lot of tight ends out there that would kill for that. So yeah, he's not as good as he once was, but he's still solid. And you have Fant, the other tight end that they're using quite a bit now. So he's not having to be in that featured role quite as much. He can still hang around for another year or two if he really wants to.
97 catches, I think, is what it was, and that was first on the team. The second was Xavier Worthy's 56. And even if you took Elijah and I did the math, if you took the number that Nuke had, which was 40 in 10 games, and extrapolate out to a full season, that's still around 70 catches.
Yeah, it's still
Travis Kelce still eclipses everybody in terms of what Patrick Mahomes wants to do with him. So it's a lot of money.
It is.
And he can make a lot of money doing other things.
Sure.
But I mean, if you say, hey, I'm going to, you got 25, 26 million next year. You want to come back?
Much like his brother, he has an entire new world of media opportunities open to him after football's over, and no telling, him and Taylor and all the things they could do as well if they continue to stay together. But yeah, that's hard to walk away from, saying, hey, come play one more year and we'll give you roughly $25 million.
Well, I'm assuming she has some kind of big giant boat they'll be on.
I'm sure.
That's what we were joking the other day. Hey, Taylor, you get the boat. I'll buy the gas.
Yeah,
that's what he's saying to her.
That's a fair deal.
And if they want to go a long way, that's a lot of gas.
I was gonna say, also, if you do plan on marrying her, maybe just like, you know what, my lady's got it covered. I can walk away from this.
Gas and groceries. He can bring all that, right? He can afford it.
Think they compare paychecks?
Nah, he's probably savvy enough to know not to do that.
Probably not.
She's done all right.
Think she ever gets like the bill for dinner?
I don't know how that works. I've always wondered that. Like with somebody like that, can you?
It's a gentlemanly thing to do, but it's like you're also
if they go to dinner somewhere,
gazillionaire.
Even if it's $1,000 dinner, either one of them could easily do it. But I'm trying to picture a server like bringing Taylor Swift the little tray with the pen, and she just pulls out the American Express or the Visa or whatever.
Or do you feel like you would be insulting her if you handed it to her?
Yeah. Is there somebody like 2 tables over that is her?
It's like, that's right. You're not going to get close to them. Like you have 5 people between you and them that relay the order, that relay the money being transacted and all that kind of stuff. And, you're just 100 feet away catching a glimpse.
Sure. Somebody pays for it. That's for sure.
Hopefully they'll leave you a nice tip.
But I would think they both are good tippers.
I would hope so.
I would think they are.
Listen, if I'm serving anybody and I know what they make and it's in the 7+ figures, I better be getting a nice tip.
That's true. That's true.
Unless my service is terrible, then.
Well, the service is great here at Village Idiot. Come say hey. We are here ahead of opening day. Carolina baseball coming your way at 3:45, 4 o'clock first pitch. Our good friend David Cloninger will join us on the other side, and we'll make DC jealous of how much pizza we're eating.
I know. He's missing out.
That's right. Lots more to do. Opening day special here on The Game.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, and 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Here's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft, Green Street in the Vista. Craft beer famously hopped. USC Baseball opens up with Sacred Heart this Friday at 3:45 p.m. That's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft.
107.5 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to to 20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Clark. Garnet Trust is hoping to build the best and most sustainable NIL program in the country. To find out how you can get involved, go on over to garnettrust.com. You can support Gamecock athletes there, get access to exclusive content, and help Garnet Trust build the best NIL program in the country.
It's inevitable. Rain, snow, ice coming our way, making driving a challenge. Thankfully, the experts at Tire Rack know a thing or two about conquering winter's worst. New tires elevate traction and braking, and they will keep you safe. Tire Rack sells only the best, like the full lineup of General tires. Go to TireRack.com/Dan. Build a tire and wheel package for DIY installation. Ship fast and free and backed by 2 years of free road hazard protection. That's TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Hey, are you a whiskey lover? If so, you have to try the new Keeper's Heart whiskey. Keeper's Heart is one of the first to blend Irish and American whiskey. And it's really good. So good, in fact. Keeper's Heart has been recognized as one of the world's best whiskeys for the way it brings together the boldness of American whiskey with the smoothness of Irish whiskey. It's the perfect matchup. Keeper's Heart is a legend in the making. Trust us, you've got to try it. Drink responsibly.
Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers, reminding you that no gift communicates affection more perfectly than fine jewelry. So this Valentine's Day, why mess around? We have thousands of items in every price range, and if you don't know what to get, our staff can help you get exactly the right Valentine's Day gift. And this particular year, diamond studs are the hottest thing going. We have them starting with 1/4 carat total weights for just $99. So come see us at Traditions on Sunset in Lexington and at Sand Hills across from the fountain.
Happy Valentine's from Pope Davis Tire and Automotive.
Thinking about what to get for that rendezvous with a special someone?
Don't show up with temporary things like flowers or chocolates.
Give your lover something long-lasting and meaningful, like affordable new tires.
Pope Davis has the top 17-inch size for $70
and the top 20-inch size for $125.
with a 50,000-mile warranty, so basically like a diamond.
Find the right tire at the right price at PopeDavisTire.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Firehouse Subs, Hook and Ladder jingle, take one.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Warm that smoky turkey, that thin slice.
Guys, this is a 30-second ad. You gotta sing faster.
Hook and ladder, when it's hot, it just tastes better. Melty cheese and toast spread, mustard mayo, perfect spread, lettuce, green, and onion. The sandwich is too big for the song. It's too big.
The Hook and Ladder, available only at participating Firehouse Subs restaurants.
Serving families in Columbia and the surrounding areas, Lever Repairs is your preferred independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer. Take advantage of tax credits and rebates of up to $2,400 for total unit replacements. Ready for an exciting new career with great pay? Join the Lever Repairs Incorporated family. Go to lever-repairs-inc.com/careers. Join a family-friendly business. With decades of experience and excellent employee benefits, Lever Repairs is your number one choice. Call today, 803-333-0737. Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chafin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Halftime Show with Terry Ford and Tyler Head on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
You know, it's amazing how serendipitous the computer's music selection can be when our good friend David Klondner comes on, because there's been multiple times when the only Fish song he likes, Chalk Dust Torture, will play. But today it's a little Van Halen, which is probably a lot more of what David would want to hear. And he is joining us now. Welcome back in, Jay Phillips, Tyler Head, our special opening day edition. We are at Village Idiot on Whaley, right around the corner from the ballpark, ahead of opening day. Come see us. Again, got a lot of great specials. Slice and a soda, $5.99. Slice and a pint, $6.99. And David was supposed to be here, and then he just plain stiffed us because he was being a dad. Boo.
Nope. He's missing out.
What's up? How are you?
Not too much, guys. And in reference to the song, I think I'm going to like house sitting this summer.
There you go. I hope they play that on Sunday. Again, here's the thing. Again, you and I are not that far apart in age. I asked the Godfather Brian Glenn a little bit earlier, and not that age matters, but we've had more Saturday Night Live in our lives, David, than people younger than us. But how excited are you for that big show on Sunday night?
I'm just hoping they don't mess it up. The 25th anniversary was not that good. The 40th, it was kind of a little less. So, I'm hoping that they, really dictate everything that made the show great, not just kind of cherry pick some of the popular sketches of the last few years, like that Californian sketch. I never thought that was funny. But, if they try to get some of the highlights like they did in the 15th anniversary, that would be good. And, of course, for me, it's a lot about the music, which I think that they're really doing on a separate program. So.
Yeah, they are. They're doing too. There's a concert tonight. There's a show tonight. And, David, I'm telling you, go to Peacock and watch the documentary on the music. It is absolutely
way ahead
fantastic.
of them.
Okay,
I've already
good.
done that. I was hoping they'd break it down in clips like by year or by era, but still it was pretty good.
Oh, it was good, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. In the meantime, DC, baseball today, you know this program as well as maybe anybody but our buddy John Whittle. But in all seriousness, the expectations, you know how I feel, that this program should always expect to host in the playoffs, in the opening round at least. And you won't always hit that mark, but that's a level of expectation you should have. Do you feel that anything has been altered as we make a coaching change and are now 13 seasons since the last appearance at the World Series?
Oh, no, the expectations will always be the same, Jay, and they should always be the same. I don't know if I would say that, you have to host every year. That's the bare minimum to me. Just making the postseason, that has to be the very bare minimum. There's no excuse for this program to ever make the postseason, to never make it. So you start there, and then you say more often than not, you're going to be in the Super Regional. So expectations will always be the same. And, of course, the benefit you have of playing this year is that they could do the exact same thing they did last year, which is have a losing record in the SEC, get a number 2 seed in a road regional, get bounced out of that, and people will probably feel excited about it this year instead of saying, oh, man, last year something's got to change here. So we'll see what happens. Expectations I think are high, but me, watching fall ball, watching the preseason, looking at the other things that I know, it's like, I think they'll make the postseason this year. And I'll say that might be the ceiling for them.
David, we haven't gotten the starting lineup for today just yet. I just checked again, but we have a pretty good idea of what it's going to look like. You're going to have a mix of guys returning like Jones, LeCroy, and Petrie, as well as a lot of new faces from the portal, Hall, Kazmar, Naraki, as well as a true freshman in KJ Scobie, likely playing third base as well. Through the fall, through the preseason, did they end up with the kind of starting 9 that Coach Mainieri was hoping for to kind of fit the mold of what he wants this team to be?
Well, the main thing that he wanted to do was drastically improve the defense. You have to start there. And obviously looking at how South Carolina ended last year, they were Manchester United out there kicking the ball around Hoover and Raleigh. You just couldn't have that anymore. So I don't know if you want to say it's like, well, here's what I expected to have. I think the defense has been improved, but you still got to go out there and play real games to see how much it has improved. There was a lot of shuffling just to see, hey, maybe this will work, maybe this will work. That's why you got a freshman at third base. That's why you got Nolan Naraki to move over to second that really ended up working. And that's why Ethan Petrie is going to be playing mostly first base now instead of right field like he has the past 2 years. So you do like what you've seen because you've gotten as close to game action as you can, but you still got to go out there and do it. And to me, I really like what they have defensively, outside of one spot where I'm very leery, which is at catcher. I think that they'll be okay catching strikes, but throwing out runners, is going to be a challenge this year, no matter who they put back there.
David, we talked about you just mentioned Ethan Petrie at first base. How solid is that for him and for this team? And is this, that defensively, that's a harder position than a lot of people think. It's not just standing over there and catching a ball when a pitcher throws over and things like that, or when guys throw. There are a lot more things to it. It's a nuanced kind of position. Is he really good at it? Is there still a possibility of others that can do it? Kind of take us through from what you learned, the logic behind Ethan at first for now.
Well, one, it's a way to maybe get him ready for the position that he's probably going to play at the next level. He can play right field, but obviously if you can keep his bat as lethal as ever without taxing him too much in the field, well, you're going to get a lot less work out at first than you are at right field. So that makes some sense. You do also look at the other guys you want to get in around him, saying if there's an okay bat that we can also get in right field while you move Petrie to first, well, don't you have to do that to give him some protection in the lineup to try to get some other RBIs into that first sign on offense? So that played into it. Ethan, as a first baseman, it was kind of rough at times last year. He's drastically improved. There's still some room to grow there, but there hasn't been anything glaring through fall ball and through these first 3 weeks of spring. So I think it's a good, strong move. And if you look at him and say he might play right field in the later innings, that's when you bring in a freshman, Bo Hollins, who's also looked pretty good at first and decent swinging the bat, during these first few games.
Looking at Petrie on offense, is he capable of being a 30 home run guy this year?
Well, if anybody wants to mess around and throw him a bunch of fastballs, I'm sure you would be. But, you don't want to put labels on a guy, especially 30 home runs in a 56-game season. That said, I think that there's no doubt that he'll hit his 20, which should push him past the record for home runs held by Justin Smoke and make him the school career holder. But you definitely would like to see that. That said, you guys know as well as I do, it's not just about hitting home runs. It's about driving in runs. So who's going to be setting the table for him in those 1 and 2 hole? Because obviously Ethan's going to have the number 3 all to himself. Who's going to hit behind him? Because you do want to remove the option for the other pitcher saying, hey man, just don't even worry about that guy. That's the one guy that can beat you. Pitch around him and pitch to the cleanup man. I mean, that's what James Madison tried to do against Cole Messina last year and said, we're just going to pitch to him. And you saw how that turned out.
Yeah. DC, before we get you out of here, let's talk a little hoops. Nice bounce back for Dawn's team last night. Certainly an expected victory, and they went comfortably by 38 points. A very different team coming in here on Sunday. We saw Southern California beat UCLA last night. We are now really seeing, I think, what a lot of, I don't want to say casual fans, but maybe just third-party observers of women's basketball want. We don't know who the best team in the country is.
Oh, yeah, man, that's what you want to have, Jay. I mean, it did get kind of boring and stale when UConn was winning it every year, and that's why these past 10 years have been so good to watch, where it's a different team. And, there have been some repeat champions, but really a different team contending for it every year. So still love South Carolina's chances. There's some great individual talents in the game. You mentioned Southern Cal. Juju Watkins scored 38 last night against a tremendously talented UCLA team. So look at South Carolina and say, well, the best thing about them, they don't have a superstar that you can take away. It's going to be a team effort no matter what you have. So South Carolina plays a big one on Sunday against UConn. You will see the team effort come out. And, it's one of those where South Carolina hasn't lost often over these past 5 years, but when they have, they've responded the right way. And if you were at the game last night or even just saw some highlights, they were ready for that one. In fact, I had somebody tell me before the game, hey, we wish we were playing UConn tonight because we're ready to get up in somebody. Yeah,
kind of chomping. And with Joyce not playing at all, David, in the fourth quarter Sunday to come out and have a career high last night. I know it's a freshman season, so there's going to be a lot more high moments for her. But do you feel individually she was making a statement last night, too, to everybody, maybe even including her head coach?
I don't know if it was making a statement, because it was Dawn Staley's decision to put her in there, and the reason she did it was because of foul trouble to Chloe Kitts and Sanaya Fagan. So the main thing is that Florida plays a certain system, which is run, score, score, score. Don't worry about defense. And South Carolina says, hey, we can do that too. They put Joyce at the head of their defense, and she was basically getting balls just handed to her, and it was able to run the floor. So that may be something we haven't necessarily seen from Joyce Edwards, but she can do it. So I don't think it was any kind of statement game. It was just like, hey, we're going to this because maybe we might need to use it again. And Joyce, you got to play because foul trouble. Oh, well, that worked. Can that work again against some other teams?
I got about 30 seconds left here for you, David. So real quick, can Carolina fans expect a similar performance against Florida tomorrow night that they saw in Columbia?
Oh boy!
Well, now that's our answer.
That's
our answer.
Home and road are two very different environments. So I would say that if you got something maybe better to watch tomorrow night, just put the score on Stat Broadcast.
All right, there you go. He's David Cloninger, DCPNC on Twitter, postandcourier.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Have a great weekend, sir. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Lots more to do here at Village Idiot on Whaley. You're listening to our opening day special.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, and 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play stop to opt out.
Your garage door could be a ticking time bomb. Seriously, did you know 20 to 30,000 garage door accidents happen every year in the U.S.? How does that even happen? Well, your garage door has 20 or more working parts and opens and closes 1,500 times a year. That's a lot of wear and tear. Don't wait until something breaks and you get stuck. Text TECH to 323232 right now for your ProCheck multi-point inspection only from OGD Overhead Garage Door. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews, OGD is the garage door expert in Columbia. OGD is available 24/7 to help you with same-day service. So if your garage door is broken, stuck, slow, or squeaky, text OGD, the only name you need for your garage door. Text TECH to 323232 right now and get an exclusive link to special limited time savings. Text the word TECH to 323232 now. Text TECH to 323232.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
Come see the entire line of GE appliances at 1421 Atlas Road. Jeffers McGill offers the best customer service and lowest price on every GE make and model, including GE Profile, Monogram, and Cafe brands. Jeffers McGill and GE, your home team.
For appliances with Reliances, that's Jeffers McGill.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Calling all business owners and property managers.
Is it finally time to get that parking lot or driveway repaved?
Call Black Seal today. Black Seal is a locally owned commercial asphalt construction and maintenance company, servicing local churches, schools, shopping centers, warehouses, restaurants, you name it.
If it needs asphalt paving or asphalt repair,
Black Seal has you covered. If you're looking to pave your parking lot or driveway, Black Seal paves the way. Black Seal also provides maintenance options to maintain your asphalt
and improve your curb appeal.
Get your free estimate and visit blacksealsc.com to learn more.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
The best selection of new Chevys right now. No hassle, no ridiculous add-on stickers. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
When you enter a place of business, you're owed a legal duty. that the place of business is safe for you to shop in because they are making a profit from you. That's the law. Yet many times a normal day ends with injuries because that business breached that duty because they knew or should have known of the dangerous condition that caused your injury. It happens every day in many ways. Slip and falls where cleaning and maintenance were ignored. Falling boxes and items stacked too high. And so many other unexpected occurrences and dangers only known to that business owner. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you suffered an injury at a place of business, let our team investigate and report back to you. The duty to protect customers from harm is the law, and our duty is to protect you after that harm. Visit forthepeople.com for more information, or on your cell phone, dial #law. That's all. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. forthepeople.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet on the Game Network.
Welcome back in. It is the halftime show. Tyler Head and Jay Phillips hanging out here at Village Idiot on Whaley Street. Part of the Shutters Towing Roadshow, getting you set for Gamecock baseball opening day versus Sacred Heart coming up 4 o'clock. We're going to take you right to pregame coverage at 3:45. We're knocking down pizzas out here. I've had the best asparagus in my entire life in pizza form. That's how I'm going to take all my vegetables now, by the way. I don't know how healthy that is, but I'll take it.
That's healthy. It's good.
Yeah. There's cheese on there.
As long as you're eating it.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just realized I'm being kind of stupid. So we have I'm wearing a broken headset.
Oh, you got that one.
I do.
And
I had this one because Jack was a guest, so I wanted to treat the guests well.
You can wear that one.
And Jack's been gone for an hour. and I didn't change. So if you'll give me a moment, Tyler,
that's fine.
I'm going to take this one off. And you can talk, and then I'll put this one on.
Well, it's funny enough. I was the one that was wearing that one when it finally fell apart, and the little cushion thing on the earphone came off. So I don't know if we can glue those back together or what. But
we can, and I'm now on the other headset. So, Dave, do I sound okay? Live radio technical difficulty here being fixed. I think this is good. I feel like I sound all right. But that one broke at a recent remote. Yes, all it needs is like the kindergarten glue stick will get it done, man.
Listen, and you've been doing this longer than I have. You've probably been through so many pairs of headphones because I've been doing this for 8 years now, and I've probably gone through 4 or 5 different sets of headphones. They
I've been lucky.
Fall apart.
Yeah, they do. I've been lucky though, since I used to wear the big, at least in the studio, the big bulky Sonys that I love.
Yep.
And not to sound cheap, but our Roku boxes a couple of years ago all came with JBL brand earbuds.
Okay.
And they're actually, so I was like, I'm just going to see if I like this. Because it's JBL. I was like, it's a solid brand,
Yeah.
And lo and behold, man. And I have 2 of them, and I'm still on the first one. So I have the other one in my briefcase. If this one craps out, and I've actually liked it. And I remember when Michael Haney came in a few years ago, I guess like 2 years ago. I've been wearing those like 2 years now, probably. I don't know. And he looked at me and he pointed at the ears. He's like, "Where's your?" Because I was so beholden.
Right.
And I'm like you said, I probably had, I don't know, 3 or 4 pairs of those Sonys, and you just wait till all the black stuff on the ear just peels away.
I had a set of Beats by Dre that I had for years, and when I started radio, I'm like, well, these would be perfect. And eventually, just all the wiring of them just completely came apart, and I was like, well, at least I didn't buy them for myself. Somebody gave them to me, so I didn't feel as bad throwing them away.
Right.
And now my headphones, I bought them at Christmas when I was back home. I was in Walmart, and they were on sale at Walmart for $10, and I was like, yeah, why not? If they fall apart, who cares?
Yeah. Captain Dave, let's get to a couple of sound clips that we've got here. Number 7 on today's list, please, sir. Stuart Lake was on with you guys a couple days ago.
Yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah. Here's Coach Lake, who, of course, will be on the call with Derek Scott today with his take on, at least for now, the weekend rotation.
I certainly do. And the reason I like, once this got announced, obviously, I still think Eli Jersenbeck's going to be a huge part of this pitching staff. I think we all know that. And probably midway through the year, he might be right back starting the weekend. But Coach Mainieri's press conference he had maybe a month ago now, he said several times in that press conference how old the SEC is right now because of COVID era, still letting guys play till 24 years old and maybe older. And I just really felt when he kept saying that, I could see a veteran staff early. And that's what we have in SQ now in Decker Friday, Saturday. It's just two guys that you really feel like you know what you're going to get. And that's huge starting out. And it'd be really special this weekend because there's so much going on. You'd like to have that veteran guy that doesn't get distracted by Jackie Bradley walking through the dugout and Whit Merrifield running across the infield and all that's going to be going on this weekend. So I like this starting rotation. Put McCoy in there on Sunday, but no doubt Eli Jerzenbeck going to be a big part of this when it's all said and done.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. And again, Jerzenbeck, if you didn't hear, is going to need to see a doctor. We don't know what it is yet. Obviously, this is a young man who has had Tommy John surgery already. Coach Maneri saying in his presser yesterday that Eli will not pitch this weekend for certain, is unlikely to pitch next weekend. And that would mean if everything is okay, Tyler, then his earliest availability would be against Clemson. And I would question then whether, Coach Maneri, Coach Rooney want to put him out there against Clemson, right? Look, I mean, if he's ready to go, he's ready to go.
Sure.
And you can't worry too much about who the opponent is, but we just know there's such intense pressure when that series is played. So, but here's hoping. And we don't know yet. We may, I caution, learn more from Paul in post game tonight. If there's any medical update, I don't know how quickly you go get one. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I know Jack mentioned you earlier. With the velocity he was throwing at, hopefully it's not an elbow issue. But again, there was definitely something off about him. And I know that kind of the initial thought is maybe working him into the midweeks, kind of getting him ramped up so he could potentially play one of those featured roles a little bit later on in the season. But obviously health is paramount, and you really feel for the kid because he had so much hype coming in and was performing well in that first season, and obviously missed last year with the TJ surgery, and now we're creeping up on 2 years since he's thrown a competitive inning.
That's what's hard to believe, man.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy because
he only went like the first month, right? Give or take.
Something like that. It didn't go too deep into the season from what I remember. And again, the hype around him was pretty high, and we didn't know if he was ever going to be in a Gamecock uniform again after that injury happened. And he's still here, and we had him on the GC Hour a couple months ago. Nice kid. Obviously loves the game of baseball, and you just want to see him get out there and get an opportunity. Hopefully that comes sooner rather than later.
Staying with what Stuart Lake had to say to you guys, Dave, cut number 12, please. Again, with new faces and maybe trying to work in some new arms. What did Stuart say in terms of what this team wants to do in non-conference play?
Yeah, you've got 26 games beside those 30. Those 30, you just set them over here because they're going to be dogfights. You've got to take care of your business in these 26. And what I mean by that, you got to get your wins. I would be very honest with hitters when I was here coaching. Hey, this is when we do need to make sure our numbers are where we want, because it's going to be hard to think you're going to raise any of those when you get in league play. But what's really big right now, especially the coach, Maneri being new, let's see who handles game days. He's seen them handle scrimmages. He's seen them handle getting to go on the road and play at College of Charleston, that fall scrimmage. But now you really get to see when the uniforms are real, who handles those, and who handles when the stands are full. And even cooler, who handles it when they strike out? Can he be a guy I trust to get up there the next time? So as a coach, wins were imperative at this point. Coach Tanner made that very clear to us when we were playing games. We took no one lightly because our goal was to try to be unblemished, which was really hard to do, but we came close a bunch in non-conference because that allows you to host regionals, and that allows you to be in position at the end of the year because it's so hard to think you're going to win that many games every year in the SEC. So it's imperative for them to come out and really set the tone for what this team is, which, again, a really good Sacred Heart team as we started to break them down here in the last few.
Stuart Lake on the Gamecock Club Hour with Tyler and the boys yesterday, and he hit on it in there, Tyler. These early games, these midweek games through the course of the season, but even before conference play begins here in about a month, you got to win them. It's not like, hey, go give it it's not like must win, but it's the what I like to call the you better win if you want to host. And I don't let go of that level of expectation. It's not that David and I disagree with that. Certainly, you better make the playoffs here.
Sure.
Certainly.
Yeah.
But I am of the mind, as someone who's covered this program a long time now, man, you should expect to host. You put enough into it. Again, you won't always do it, but if you mess around on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you'll be a 2-seed somewhere.
Yeah, like I said, get what you can get in those first 26 because the last 30 are certainly going to be a dogfight. And again, we know how strong the SEC is, and you don't necessarily even have to have a winning record in conference to still make the tournament at the end of the year. But getting what you can in those first 26 games goes a long way. And also figuring out what your team is, especially in a new era like this with Maneri taking over and kind of getting a sense of what you're going to have and what you need to change for those important games come along.
Come see us. We are at Village Idiot at the Olympia Mills, Whaley Street, right around the corner, literally right around the corner from the ballpark. Today, $5.99 slice and soda or $6.99 slice and a pint. So come over here, do a little pre-gaming. Enjoy whether it's the special, the Aspera, yes, or the Radio Fire, or the slice or pie of your choice. And Brian's here cooking them today. So you got that going for you.
That's right.
Which is nice. Well, lots more to do on our opening day special from the Village Idiot. Be right back.
107.5 The Game in Columbia.
100.5 The Game in Florence. And 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
The Game Network.
Here's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft. Green Street in the Vista. Craft beer famously hopped.
USC Baseball opens up with Sacred Heart this Friday at 3:45 p.m.
That's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute sponsored by TGL, presented by SoFi. Tune in every week for TGL matches. The NBA dunk contest used to be amazing. Now you see fringe players and G Leaguers. Instead of tuning in on Saturday night, go to YouTube and watch Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon go head-to-head. Or just watch Dude Perfect. You don't need to see Mac McClung against Andre Jackson Jr. That's where the NBA can do anything to fix this. But as of now, the dunk contest is no longer worth watching. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi. Golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf. Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 6 teams. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE, SIPC.
When it comes to HVAC replacements, AAA Heating and Air is the go-to name in the Midlands. With guaranteed financing, no payments or interest for 12 months, and a 15-year parts and labor warranty, it's no wonder they're the absolute best in the business. But wait, there's more. Did you know AAA Heating and Air also offers incredible deals for repairs? If your system is broken and you're worried about the cost, they've got you covered. AAA Heating and Air offers up to 12-month payment plans with no credit check for all repairs. Yep, homeowners just need a valid bank account and you are all set. So don't sweat it. Those warm summer months are just around the corner. Don't be stuck in the heat without your HVAC unit being ready to handle the strain of your switch over to the AC from Heat. Call AAA Heating and Air today to take advantage of up to 12-month payment plans on your unit repairs with no credit check. Your comfort is just a call away. So do what I did and call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hey guys, Jay Phillips here for my good friends at Integrated Media, Columbia's leader in today's technology for your home and business. They've got TVs from Sony and Samsung, surround sound systems from Dolby, Sonos wireless speakers, Wi-Fi that works everywhere, even cameras to see what's going on around your home. They've got you covered. Call Integrated Media at 803-948-8327. Set up a time for them to come out to your house and talk with you about your wants and your needs. You want to cut the cord? They can help. Want one of those beautiful Samsung frame TVs that looks like art when it's not turned on? They do that too. plus fantastic outdoor systems that let you enjoy your favorite team, movie, TV show, or music while you also enjoy our beautiful South Carolina weather. You can even stop in and see them at the Experience Center, 105 Snapdragon Court and Chapin, and get a real idea of what these things look like in your home. Do what I've done, and many of your friends and neighbors. Call 803-948-8327 and get home theater like never before from Integrated Media.
Show with Terry Ford and Tyler Head on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
11 minutes in front of 2 o'clock on this Friday. Welcome back in. Jay and Tyler with you. Captain David, Master Control. Tyler and I, at Village Idiot on Whaley at the Olympia Mill location. The Godfather is back with us. And Jason Snyder just texted in to ask how we're doing. The Budman himself. There's a former Budman, but he's got a pizza on the menu.
He sure does have pizza on the
Yeah, he does. It's a good one, too.
Fantastic dude, too.
Brian, yes, he's a very good person. I'm a big fan of his.
He likes the soccer ball kicking teams like you.
He does.
Too.
We talk about that a lot. In fact, you
guys like the same team?
No. We both like teams in London. He likes West Ham.
Okay.
I like Arsenal.
Okay.
And,
I'll forget that.
At least for now, Arsenal's doing a little bit better. I think they have West Ham next weekend, actually.
I went to a Cosmos game when I was like 4.
Ooh.
Pele
like
played.
Pele?
Yeah.
And Franz Beckenbauer?
Giorgio Canale.
Canale, yeah, man. That team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's why the guys on Men in Blazers, because that was what, mid-70s.
Yeah.
And the guys on Men in Blazers always say, like, soccer, America's sport of the future since 1972.
Yep.
But,
big rivalry with the Chicago Sting. I remember that.
Absolutely. The old NASL, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's at least this time, this league has not only taken off in America, but is now thriving. So that's good. In fact, you got billionaires fighting each other to get teams. Who knew that was going to ever happen in America?
Who'd have thunk it?
No, not me, man. Not me. Anyway, Brian's got us out here again today. Again, the February special, the asparagus.
Yeah, make sure you pronounce that Y.
I did it right. Asparagus, roasted asparagus, bacon, sausage, peppers, and that pesto swirl again.
It kicks it off.
Yeah, that's nice. Slice of the day, my own Radio Fire. Enjoy. I need to get Tyler to get one of those, or whatever you want. Do you? I think I've asked you before. Of your specials on the menu, do you have a favorite? Or is that like asking like which of your kids is your favorite?
Well, my favorite would probably be The Godfather.
That's fair.
Which is sausage, green pepper, and onion.
Yeah. Now if you've told me correctly, like your old boss way back in the day, like no more than 3 toppings. And,
not even.
Yeah.
We had cheese, pepperoni, mushroom, or sausage, green pepper, and onion.
Okay.
That was it. Couldn't mix those up either.
Right.
No well done, light baked, nothing. He was
right.
He was the soup Nazi before the soup Nazi existed. And he was just polite about it.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. People need to be that way. David Cloninger was just on with us. Which of these booths is his office?
In this location,
right?
It's that third booth up there.
Okay.
In the 5 Points location, it's the first one tucked back kind of by the men's room.
Okay, that makes sense.
Have his name on it?
There should be, because I have had something made to hang up there. I just hadn't done it yet.
Let's make that happen.
I should make it happen.
You should.
He may be here more than me.
He might let that go to his head, though.
What I got to do is like just give him an employee number and have him clock in.
There you go.
So we could track his hours.
Well, he did tell me a story once that you were kind enough to allow him to do like a really exclusive interview in here one time.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, well, here's the key. Make sure you lock up.
Yep.
That's trusting, my man.
It is. I think one year during the Olympics or so. I mean, he helps out when he needs to.
Oh yeah.
There was one year Olympic hockey game. We're just getting our teeth kicked in, and he started grabbing ice and emptying the garbage cans. And
Let's say throwing dough around.
No, not in the kitchen.
No,
he tends to stay near the beer.
Well, that's good. Well,
Probably smart.
Somebody needs to. Somebody needs to. But again, come by. We do appreciate it. How many? I don't even know how many years in a row this is now that we've been doing this with you here.
I remember doing a home run wiffle ball derby with Trey Dyson one year.
Yeah, he was out there. And there was a couple other Carolina ball players out there.
Yeah, it's hard to forget Trey.
Yeah, but there was a couple others out there, and we had some fun doing it. That was probably pre-COVID. How long you been at this location?
This is 10th year.
Yeah, but that had to be pre-COVID.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because that was a while back. Yeah, I do remember that. That was fun. But anyway, come by here and see us. It's easy to get to. Slice and a soda, $5.99. Slice and a pint, $6.99. Not just today, but every home game here at the Whaley Street location. You can get that, or you can get whatever you want.
You can get whatever you want.
That's true.
But that's two good little specials there for either pre or post game.
Yeah. And you're here till how long tonight? Well, that's not the different. How long?
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Right there you go. Kids are still coming in. All these kids that live here. Everybody's good.
Yeah.
They don't mess around too much.
No.
Okay.
Nope. They're responsible.
Nail salon next door is good to you.
Very good. You can get your nails done.
Good neighbors. Yeah. Get your nails done. Grab a slice.
Boom. Get a bottle of wine from the place on the end. Take home.
Oh yeah. What do they got down there? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they got some stuff in there.
Like Italian bottling shop.
Yeah. They got some neat stuff in
look
there.
fancy.
All right. I haven't been in there yet.
Hey, if you haven't gotten a gift
I'm
for the wife
coming
yet
over here,
for
man,
Valentine's Day.
Ooh, I haven't yet. Hopefully Mrs. Phillips isn't listening.
Perfect.
Should I have admitted that out loud? I guess I just did.
Well, are you just giving her the Jedi mind trick?
Have you gotten Mrs. Glenn anything?
I got her a card.
That's nice. I guess I better do that, if nothing else.
I get ready to go through the we got the Mother's Day, birthday, and our anniversary are all within like 3 weeks. So we don't really do much for Valentine's Day.
Lots more to do. Lots more to do from the idiot here as we get you closer to opening day.
1075 The Game, broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Have any plans for Wednesday? If you do, cancel them because you don't want to miss Free Fave Wednesday at McDonald's. That's right. McDonald's is giving away free menu items every Wednesday. Talk about a midweek pick-me-up. Just head to the deals page in the McDonald's app, and with your minimum $1 purchase, you'll score a free fave. What was once a humble hump day is now a free deal day. Score your next freebie with Free Fave Wednesday only in the McDonald's app. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Offer valid through 5/25/25 at participating McDonald's. Valid once a day. Excludes tax. Must opt into rewards.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Personal injury lawyers are everywhere, and they come in all shapes and sizes. So how do you choose? I'm Michael Jeffcoat. I grew up in South Carolina. I went to school here. I met my wife here. And together we opened the Jeffcoat firm right here to help our community get the support they deserve. Over the last 25 years, we've won millions of dollars for injured accident victims right here in our home state.
We believe that local is better.
And you deserve better.
Responsible attorney is Michael Jeffcoat, 1333 Main Street, Columbia.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, huh?
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
Sample Rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Messaging data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Honey!
What's wrong? I thought you already left for work.
The garage door is broken. It won't open and I can't get my car out. I can't miss this meeting today. Everyone is coming in for it.
Relax. I'm texting OGD right now.
What is OGD?
OGD, Overhead Garage Door. They're the garage door experts in Columbia. Take my car in the driveway and OGD will handle the garage. They have same-day service and they'll get the garage door fixed today. Fast and easy.
Wait, with just one text, you can get our garage door fixed same day by OGD?
Yes, OGD will get it done, no problem. Now, you need to get to work and let OGD worry about the garage door.
Garage door broken, stuck, slow, or squeaky? Text OGD, the only name you need for your garage door. Text TIGHT to 200-300 right now. Text right now and get an exclusive link to special limited time savings. Don't wait. Text the word TIGHT to 200-300 now. Text TIGHT to 200-300.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. What's trending at 2 on the halftime show, sponsored by Traditions Fine Jewelry and Gamecock Traditions on the Game Network and 107.5 The Game app.
Welcome back in. Halftime show. Tyler Head, Jay Phillips. On your opening day baseball, that's what's trending here at 2. Again, hanging out at the Village Idiot on Whaley Street, right here at Olympia Mill, just a stone's throw away from the stadium. I told Jack when I came in, I haven't driven this way in a while. All that new construction, you can't see the stadium intersection anymore. Because I'll get a nice little view of Founders as I'm driving over. No, I'm guessing that's new housing or whatever that is, and it's all obstructing the view.
Well, I'm glad that we need all that kind of stuff, and I still, sound like old dude when I think back to what used to be around here, which was an empty mill, and an empty mill, and now you got.
What kind of mill was this? What are they making?
I want to say this was textiles back in the day.
Okay,
don't
say it's pretty common throughout the
don't
Southeast.
Quote me on that.
Yeah,
but I think that's right.
Yeah. It's a growing trend to take an old mill and turn it into some kind of housing.
Well, big and sturdy. I mean, listen,
makes sense.
this one's not as old for housing as Whaley's Mill, right? A couple blocks up the road here. My now wife, I think maybe when we started dating, because we were kind of friends before that. I know she lived there. I'm trying to remember when it was, but yeah, she lived up there for a bit. So that one's been there since before I was in college. But a lot more housing. University of South Carolina is getting bigger. I like that.
Yeah,
so that's good. And more stuff over there by the ballpark. It's a fun location. But come see us. Again, very easy to get to. You can listen, if you want to park down there, walk over here, come back. A lot of you are probably on your way at this point. By all means, come say hey. Again, $5.99 slice and a soda, $6.99 slice and a pint. Every home game before or after here at the Whaley location of Village Idiot. We thank Brian and the crew for having us out. Captain Dave's at Master Control here. Terry is away. Elijah is away. I know Elijah is Valentining this weekend.
Yes.
I'm going to assume that that Terry Ford has a little love in the heart.
Yeah, I couldn't believe his girlfriend didn't go for it's opening day of college baseball, and I'm going to the Village Idiot to hang out and get some pizza.
Sure.
She didn't buy that one.
Sure. Well, hey, it. Good luck to Ford.
Well, we're
better take her somewhere nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say better make it worth the while and extend a weekend and all that kind of stuff. And we're the sensible ones that we're just doing Valentine's after we get done here.
That's what we do. A little bit later on this hour, we're gonna let you hear our interview with our buddy Aaron Fitt, getting us ready not only for the Gamecocks but the college baseball scene around the country. and a full interview with Coach Monty Lee. I want to get to a couple of things that Coach Mainieri said yesterday. Dave, if you would please, let's get to the news right now that's got a lot of people talking. Cut number 15, and we'll come back and discuss this. If you didn't hear Eli Jersenbeck on the shelf early, here's Coach Mainieri explaining what's going on.
Jack, I really don't know how to answer this question because Eli actually went to see a doctor yesterday, and he's having a little bit of some issues right now. We're not really sure what exactly the problem is, but he's not going to be available to us certainly for this weekend and probably next week. So it would probably explain why some of his struggles were happening in these first 3 weeks. But I'd rather not talk anymore about it because I don't really know what the diagnosis is. And, I really feel for the kid because obviously he missed all of last year, and now we got to just hope and pray for the best for him. But when I have an update on it, I'll let y'all know.
And as we mentioned earlier in the program, we may have an update tonight in Coach Mainieri's post-game press conference. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we definitely will because we just don't know yet. And it does, as he said in that, Tyler, explain a little bit. And I think most of us, dare I say, just, assumed, which is dangerous, that Eli was going to be one of your weekend starters just based on returning from surgery and having a pretty good fall.
Yeah, and that was the kind of hype and anticipation coming in this year. Again, he was a guy, when he got to South Carolina, had a lot of praise behind him, and they thought he was going to factor in well. And when he pitched back in 2023, did well for the times that he was on the mound. Then obviously had the injury that sat him out last year, and knew it was going to be a process of getting him back there. But like I said, we talked to him a couple months ago, said he was feeling good and liked where they were heading. And again, it didn't seem like he was going to factor into the rotation, and that could still be the case later on in the season. And again, we'll see what the latest health update is. And like Jack told you earlier, he was still throwing hard.
Yeah.
So you don't think that it's anything too severe, hopefully, and we'll get the answer on that and go from there.
Look, pitchers sometimes, especially early, will have some soreness. There could be a host of things that just makes you feel uncomfortable. Knowing that you need to go see a doctor. I'm not going to sit here and say that's going to be even more alarming because it may well be that the kid knows his body enough to know, hey, you know what? Let me just go be sure.
Right.
Rather than go, it's fine. Give me a couple of aspirin and then I'll just won't throw for a couple of days or something like that. You've had surgery. Hey doc, is this anything that's an after effect? Is there something I should be looking for, feeling for, that kind of situation? So good for him to go do it and just hope. But again, as you heard Coach say there, no Eli Jersenbeck this weekend or next weekend if everything is okay, and that's what we hope. Earliest availability is going to be when Clemson and Carolina see each other in a couple of weeks. In the meantime, Dave, the very next cut, please, number 16. So Matthew Becker is in the starting rotation. He will be the game 2 starter for South Carolina. And again, a lot of folks love his versatility. But if this is where Coach Mainieri and Coach Rooney think he needs to be, that's where he is for now. Here's Coach Mainieri with more of an explanation of Matthew Becker in the starting rotation.
First of all, Matthew Becker pitched the best of any of our pitchers all fall. So I think I told you all at one point he was going to be kind of a hybrid. I thought, maybe we could use him at the end of the games because in this league, it's a 9-inning game. I mean, you can have a starting pitcher go out there and pitch 7 great innings. You could have a 1 or 2 run lead. If you can't close it out, you're going to lose a lot of 1-run games, and that's going to define your season. So the advancement or the emergingness, is that a word, emerging? The emergence, my English major son, my author's son would be proud of me that I came up with that word. The emergence of Brendan Sweeney as a late inning option for us has allowed me to not have to use Becker at the end of games right now. And it makes me happy because the more innings we can get out of Becker, I think the better our team is going to be because I do believe he's one of our top pitchers. And I know we wanted to start, anybody would at this point in their career, and it would give him a chance to showcase himself for potential, draft. But he's not thinking that way, truthfully. He's really, this is the best way for him to contribute to our team's success. And as I mentioned, the more innings he's out there, the better our chance. Matthew Becker is, listen, he reminds me an awful lot of a pitcher I had at LSU by the name of Jared Poche. Poche won more games than any pitcher in the history of LSU baseball, but he was in trouble almost every inning. I mean, I used to have to watch the games like this, and knowing the right time to take him out of the game was critical. If I waited a little too long, we could blow the lead. If I took him out a little bit too early, then I wasted an inning or two from him. So, but it was hard because he was in trouble all the time, but he pitched out of it. And Matthew Becker's a lot like that. He'll get himself in some jams, but then he has not only the fortitude and the toughness and the experience, but he's also got the stuff to pitch out of it.
It's an interesting way to talk about it, and I do like that part of it. I'm still curious, no predictions here, Tyler, but with Matthew Becker, and we talked with Jack earlier about this when he was with us, Jack Veltri. You got Tuesday and Wednesday games this week too, so you've got starters right there, who may be able to impress some things upon Coach real quick. And I just wonder if they would still prefer Matthew Becker's versatility relative to having him be a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday guy.
Yeah, and that's another point about playing these non-conference games early is kind of feeling all that kind of stuff out, seeing what you have and, what options you're going to have on the table when it really gets thick things in conference play. And look, he is a versatile guy, like you said, and started a couple games last year, but mainly found his role kind of in the bullpen and coming in relief. But, I go back to the Ole Miss game last year where he came in along in relief, did a pretty good job, and did the same thing in a start against Texas A&M as well, where he went pretty deep into the game. So, he's a guy that's used to pitching some of these deeper innings, though we kind of found that role in the bullpen as season went along, and it's going to do whatever's asked of him. But like Maneri said, he ended up being kind of the best pitcher that they had through the fall, and if they feel like he's going to give him the best chance this weekend, we'll see what happens.
One more from Coach here, at least for now. Dave, cut number 14, please. All right, we've talked some pitching. How about the guys that are going to be behind the plate and helping call these games? You lose a big-time performer in Messina. What's the competition like behind the plate?
Well, it's better, John, now than it was a while ago, but I still think it's a work in progress. Talmadge is definitely the number one catcher, and he'll definitely catch the first two games of the weekend series. And then, quite frankly, the battle, one of the biggest battles we've had has been for the second catcher between Ryan Bakes and Max Coffer. And it's almost too close to call because Coffer came back. I thought Coffer in the fall was not a very strong hitter. He came back this spring and then made a lot of adjustments with his swing. And he is not an automatic out any longer. And I think he said 2 or 3 home runs, Ken, in the spring preseason scrimmages. And he's become a little bit of a force at the plate. He probably throws a little bit better than Ryan Bakes. And Ryan Bakes is probably a better receiver than Max. So I'm really not sure yet who's going to catch the third game. And it's going to be a work in progress as we go. But I think Talmadge clearly has the upper hand in the sense that he's just a leader and an experienced guy, and he plays with such energy and enthusiasm. I know maybe that sounds strange for you to hear me say that about LaCroix, but this catching position has really rejuvenated him, and he's become a real leader of our team. And I think he's going to do a fine job.
It is interesting to hear, that he feels like, hey, here's your shot. Mm-hmm. At the bulk of your playing time and where you can help us.
Yeah, and look, it's hard to replace a guy like Messina, not only from what he did at the plate, but also behind the plate, and just kind of that leadership role that he took on of kind of being the quarterback of your defense and that catcher role. And, reading what Jack's written through the preseason scrimmages and stuff, these guys have gotten run on a little bit. So you don't quite have that efficiency you want behind the plate at this point. That's something that can obviously improve. But you have viable guys with Bakes, who's somebody that we heard a lot about going into last year when he came in. And then Coffer obviously coming over from Texas A&M and kind of seeing, once again, what you can kind of figure out in these first couple of weeks to give you the best option when conference play starts.
Jay and Tyler with you here at Village Idiot, the Olympia Mill location on Whaley, quite literally steps away from Founders Park. Come say hey to us before the ball game. And they're here till 10 o'clock tonight. They're here every day. So, there's that with some game day specials and a whole lot more. Lots more baseball prep to get you. Our good friend Aaron Fitt, D1 Baseball national writer, joined us a couple of days ago. We'll let you hear what Aaron had to say about the Gamecocks and some life around the SEC. And we'll do that when our opening day special returns.
107.5 The Game in Columbia.
100.5 The Game in Florence. And 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
The Game Network.
Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
107.5 The Game, broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
What's up, Gamecocks? Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. If you own a lawnmower, one of two things is probably true. Either you've been putting it through the ringer, mulching up leaves and pine straw all winter, or you haven't touched it in quite some time. Either way, Cato's can get it tuned up, repaired, and ready to work. Weeds are peeking their heads out of the ground, and warm temps mean grass is about to grow. Don't wait until our shop is full. Visit Cato's today and get your lawnmower and grass cutting tools ready to keep you cutting.
This is Larry Leitner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
minutes, but you could not walk.
We'll have a special
that.
edition from noon until airtime with Derek and Stuart on the call. In the meantime, I'm not even sure where he'll be yet. We'll ask him. Our good friend Aaron Fitt is back with us for another baseball season, d1baseball.com. Happy opening week, sir. How are you? And where will Aaron Fitt be plying his trade this weekend as openers take place?
Well, friends, good to be back with you. It's been a while. I am heading down to Puerto Rico to start the season. We got a tournament down there, 8 teams, 2 different sites, and pretty good field. I think Virginia's the headliner, but probably 5 teams I think down there that we have projected as regional type teams. So not a bad place to start the year after sitting through this miserable weather.
Now, is that
I
a
think you guys
seniority thing? Like, where's Kendall going? Where's Mark going? Are you sending Mark to like North Dakota? Like, how's this work?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, I feel like I got the diploma assignment here. Kendall's going to be in Texas like always.
Yeah,
I don't know where everyone
He
else
never
is going
leaves.
to be. Who can keep track of these things?
Well, I think Kendall only leaves Texas to go to Omaha in June. That's about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. We'll find out where Etheridge is at some point. Let's jump right in here. Elijah and I had Coach Maneri on yesterday, and you could feel the energy in his voice as he was even breaking some news with us about the weekend rotation. As you look at South Carolina baseball with the change, we know what expectation levels are around here, whether it's here in Columbia or all around the country. How are you assessing what this offseason has been like now that you've had a chance to kind of digest what Paul wants to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question. I'm still trying to get a feel for it, to be honest with you. I mean, it feels like this team is lying in the weeds a little bit. The spotlight is not going to be on them. I don't know if anybody's picking them, to be certainly not a top 25 team. I don't think they've been ranked anywhere. And I don't know that people even expect them necessarily to be a regional team. And so it's not a bad place to be when you're a program that has some talent and certainly has pedigree. I mean, this team has a chance to surprise people because there are guys here. I mean, there's some players that have experience of winning and, superstar players like Ethan Petrie, I guess a superstar player, Ethan Petrie. We know how good that guy is. And, I don't know. It's how good are they going to be? I mean, it's a great question. Obviously, we're not really buying in. We're, again, not picking them to be in a regional, but I'm also not going to say, they got no chance. They stink. I think they're absolutely a contender to be a regional team, but it's just the SEC. There's so many good teams in this league. You got to jump some. And so, I think Paul Maneri has been around the block a few times. He certainly has a knack for getting the most out of the players on his roster and pulling the right levers at the right time as you get into the season. I think his in-season adjustments is one of the most impressive things about him. I feel like every year, at LSU, he'd come up with some guy who was like a position player only, and all of a sudden he's a key pitcher or vice versa. Some guy you never heard of who just emerges, in May, and is the guy for him. And so that's something to keep an eye on is which levers is he going to pull in key spots down the stretch.
Yeah, you mentioned the SEC just being an absolute tank of a conference, and that's no secret to anybody. But South Carolina is going to have to pull off some what we would perceive as upsets now in February. Once you do get to the middle of the season, and Coach Maneri is pulling the strings a little bit. But when you look at this conference as a whole, you kind of have like the usual suspects like Tennessee and Texas A&M. Obviously, going to expect it to be pretty good. Jim Schlossnagle now at Texas, and with Oklahoma coming into the league. There are a lot of teams that are heavily talked about in terms of being contenders, but what might be one of those teams that isn't talked about a lot right now nationally that you expect to be a legitimate title contender, or at least one to make a push to Omaha?
Well, I mean, Mississippi State feels like they're kind of fit into that category as a team that was, struggling for a couple of years, got back on track, got into a regional last year as a 2 seed and reached a regional final. They're like a lower half of the top 25 type team. I don't think people are really viewing them as necessarily an Omaha team, but I think they have that kind of potential. Georgia is one that is, I think, getting plenty of buzz, but I'm really high on Georgia. I actually like that team even more probably than, some of the teams we have ranked ahead of them, LSU, Tennessee. I think Georgia for me is might wind up having the best pitching staff in the country outside of maybe A&M. I mean, I'm really excited about their staff, and they've done a good job, of course, in the portal. They've just crushed that 2 years in a row under Wes Johnson. So that's one that they're preseason top 10 team. So I'm not like going way out on a limb here, but I think they're going to be even better than that. I think they're one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the country is what I'm feeling. And then if you go a little bit farther down the pecking order, Ole Miss strikes me as a team that people are sleeping on, and we don't have them as a regional team. I wanted them to be in our projections. I lost that debate. That happens, but it's again, people forget how good Hunter Elliott is. I mean, this guy was a freshman All-American, one of the best freshmen in the country, for a team that won the national championship. And then he missed 2 years with injury. It was kind of weird timing with the Tommy John, and then he had a little setback. But now he's back. He's great in the fall. He's one of the more accomplished pitchers in the country when you think what he's actually done. So get him back with Riley Maddox and Mason Nichols. There's a lot of experience and stuff in that rotation, which is a separator around the league. When a lot of teams have question marks on the mound, I think that's going to be a pretty darn good rotation. So that's a team that, again, way in the weeds that I think is going to be a postseason caliber team.
Aaron Fitt with us, D1Baseball.com. Obviously, college baseball season opening up this weekend all across the country and even in American territories down in the Caribbean, which is where Aaron's going to be. Again, pretty cool. Coming back to Carolina and blending Clemson into it, we know how big that series is every year for a variety of reasons. This year, it may be looked at as a little bit more of a measuring stick for where Carolina is. You guys have the Tigers at number 15. We know what kind of coach Eric Bakich is. We know what he did in the Big Ten. Now he's doing that at Clemson and raising their expectation level. Do you look at Carolina Clemson this year as even bigger for these schools because of Paul Mainieri's arrival?
I don't know if I'd call it any bigger than ever. I mean, it's like you said, it's big every year. And I think it's just kind of the same. I think it's just has a little bit extra intrigue anytime you've got a new coach, and especially a famous coach like Paul Mainieri, a national championship winning coach. That adds to the intrigue a little bit. It's certainly one that we're going to have our eye on, especially because it's a big barometer for South Carolina in particular. I think we kind of know Clemson's going to be a good club. And we have them 15. We're probably a little low on them, to be honest. They probably wind up being a top 10 team. They tend to, I think, achieve a little bit above their talent under Bakich. It seems to be the way that's going. And actually, I think their talent is pretty darn good. I think we're just a little light on them, to be honest with you. But they're going to be good. But for South Carolina, that is a really important barometer of kind of where they're at before we get to conference play. How do they handle, a good opponent in a high pressure environment? I think it's going to be fascinating, and I know we're going to have boots on the ground of that series, and it's certainly one of the highlights on conference slate.
And one thing, obviously, college baseball, all college sports really in 2025 that makes it so much different than covering the sport like 10, 15 years ago was the ability to really flip your roster and make it look completely different from one year to the next. I've been using the basketball example of Missouri, a team that went winless in the SEC, and now 1 year later with one great offseason, they're in position to get a double bye in that SEC tournament, all because of what they did in the offseason in terms of acquisitions. What's one team that maybe struggled last year, whether it be, one run, game losses and things of that nature, but you thought had a good enough offseason to turn what was a bad year last year into a team that can really surprise people in 2025?
That's a good one. I'll throw one at you because this is a team, Wake Forest, that was preseason number 1 last year, right? And, you kind of say they underachieved. They got into a regional, but they were a 2 seed on the road, didn't even make the regional final. For a preseason number 1 team that had 3 top 10 picks, I think you would call that a pretty disappointing season. Now you lose those 3 top 10 picks. Nick Kurtz and Chase Burns and Seaver King are gone, and, a couple other high round picks. And people are probably thinking that team's going to take a step back, but I think the opposite. I think that's an example of a team that really crushed the portal, plugged those holes effectively. You got Ethan Conrad coming in, who was a big summer sensation on the Cape, transfer from Marist to, as a potential first-round pick, just like Seaver King was the year before. So you plug that guy into center field and, plug some other holes. They got a catcher from St. John's that we like. They got I think it was a freshman of the year from Butler, Cade Lewis, who's going to play first base. they really did a great job. Matthew Dallas from Tennessee, Logan Lunsford from Missouri. These are guys that have come from quality programs that I think they can get more out of at Wake Forest with Corey Muscara and all the resources with their pitching lab and everything. That's a team that people probably think will take a step back after what they lost, and I think actually is going to be even better than that.
Good stuff from our buddy Aaron Fitt. He joined Elijah and me on the postgame show earlier in the week, and the full interview on our YouTube channel, on the podcast page at 1075thegame.com. And I just hope Tyler Head that Aaron packed a lot of sunscreen for Puerto Rico.
I was going to say that's a miserable time having to go down there and cover baseball. He's got it rough, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to him when he gets back, and that's if he gets back.
I was going to say he may not come back. He may not want to.
Never know.
Want to come back. By the way, Virginia and Michigan tied at 0, bottom of the first right now down there.
Good stuff. Plenty more to do. Let you hear a little bit of what Monty Lee had to say about the ball club when the special opening day show returns.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, and 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Here's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft, Green Street in the Vista. Craft beer famously hopped. USC Baseball opens up with Sacred Heart this Friday at 3:45 p.m. That's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft.
Get ready for the excitement of the 2025 Gamecock football season. It's the perfect time to secure your season tickets. Experience the roar of the crowd, the sight of towels waving to Sandstorm, and the thrill of Carolina touchdowns with flashing lights. These unforgettable moments at Williams-Brice Stadium can't be missed. Plan your visit now and join us in our home for the 2025 season. Visit thegamecockclub.com for ticket options. We look forward to seeing you there.
Some mornings have me struggling to get out of bed. But thanks to McDonald's, now I have 3 delicious reasons to psych myself up for the day ahead. With the 2 for $5 mix and match deal, I can choose from the breakfast classics Mickey D's is known for. From the sizzling sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, to a sausage McMuffin with egg, to a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. Ooh, what you waiting for? Get out of bed, sleepyhead, and make your way to Mickey D's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Single item at regular price.
Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers, reminding you that no gift communicates affection more perfectly than fine jewelry. So this Valentine's Day, why mess around? We have thousands of items in every price range, and if you don't know what to get, our staff can help you get exactly the right Valentine's Day gift. And this particular year, diamond studs are the hottest thing going. We have them starting with 1/4 carat total weights for just $99. So come see us at Traditions on Sunset in Lexington and at Sand Hills across from the fountain.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Mark your calendars for Thursday, February 20th at 5:30 p.m. Northside Baptist Church and the Men of N proudly present the 10th Annual Sportsman's Banquet. They're honored to welcome Rick Burgess, the dynamic co-host of the legendary Rick and Bubba Show, as their keynote speaker. Tickets are just $10, which include dinner from Hudson Smokehouse, live music, silent auction, and giveaways from their sponsors, including 15-plus big-ticket items from Palmetto State Armory. Secure your tickets today. Visit them at Facebook or menofn.org for all the details. Act fast. This event will sell out.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Hi, this is Chastity from the Gutter Men. Have the fall leaves clogged your gutters? The pros at the Gutter Men can keep the clutter out of your gutter and your downspouts. Look for our guys in the powder blue trucks. Call me at 803-791-7147 or visit us online at theguttermen.com.
We keep the clutter out of your gutter. Call on the gutter man.
Happy Valentine's from Polk Davis Tire and Automotive.
Thinking about what to get for that rendezvous with a special someone?
Don't show up with temporary things like flowers or chocolates.
Give your lover something long-lasting and meaningful, like affordable new tires.
Pope Davis has the top 17-inch size for $70
And the top 20-inch size for $125.
with a 50,000-mile warranty. So basically like a diamond.
Find the right tire at the right price at PopeDavisTire.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. Check out the Season of Love at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 in Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Powered by Integrated Media, The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chafin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Everybody loves streaming till you have to pay for it. Just download the 107.5 The Game app and stream us for free.
All right, welcome back in. Our special opening day program continues. Jay Phillips, Tyler Head, live from Village Idiot on Whaley, right around the corner from the ballpark. Beautiful day in the capital city. And it's into the 50s now, Tyler Head. I got 53 degrees, man.
Well, it's a little bit lower than it was last week when we were in shorts and T-shirts, but
man.
better than the rain and freezing that we had earlier on this week. So I'll take it.
Some of you have hit us and asked, have they made any decisions for the weekend? No, they have not. Sunday obviously does not look good across, again, Southern America.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
they moved up the Daytona 500 an hour for Sunday. So
Okay.
it's hitting everywhere.
Is that going to help?
It
An
might.
hour?
It might. As long as they can get to halfway, it's an official race.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that, do you?
I know.
Anyway, but a beautiful day today. Man, I'm serious. There's
literally no clouds.
There's hardly a cloud in the sky. So it's a nice day. Again, I voted for a triple header today because I knew today was going to be perfect. But
well, you're not the one that has to play those 27 innings.
No, so they decided not to. Well, they could have done 7-inning game. They could have played just 21 innings and make it like
that's still a lot.
It's a really, 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 really long extra inning game. That's all.
Well, it happens. Georgia and Clemson played a 18-inning game when I was in school.
Yeah.
No, they played 22 or 23.
It
was a long one.
That's crazy. Listen, I know they're not going to play a triple header, but there is the possibility of a doubleheader tomorrow, but I honestly don't even know if they will make that determination until tomorrow. I don't know.
And look, weather can change. I doubt we're going to learn anything today. And, just if you got a ticket, be ready.
That's right.
Because that game 3 will be moved at some point if they need to and make it play tomorrow or whatever, and that ticket will still be good. So get out there when you can.
In the meantime, Coach Monty Lee was on the early game a couple of weeks ago. A couple of cuts that we'll get to from Monty. Dave, just cut number 1 on that particular list, please, sir. Here's Monty with Jen, Bill, and Preston on how excited he is for this opening day.
Well, tonight is I hope that tonight will be just as normal as possible, for someone like me. I mean, look, we know that opening day is tomorrow, and there's always that energy and excitement for opening day. But, I will tell you this, one of the things that I've tried to do, because I will say this, opening day for a baseball coach and for a baseball player and team, it's a little different, right? I mean, there's somebody else in the other dugout. We've been inter-squatting against each other. There's hasn't been a big crowd in the stands. So it's just completely different for coaches and for players. So it takes a little bit of time to get into the flow of the game when you haven't done that. The excitement and the adrenaline's in the ballpark and running through the players. And so for me, I try to just be as normal as possible. And I try not to make any day more special than others. I know that sounds crazy. But to me, every day is important when you're a coach, and it's important today that we try to prepare our guys for tomorrow. So I try not to put a ton of stock in opening day in terms of the jitters and all that. I just try to run my normal routine, normal work routine, normal morning routine, and just play the game, because I just accept the fact that it's going to be a little bit different when you look over there and and there's somebody else in the other dugout, and there's 8,000 plus people in the stands watching your team play. So I try not to get too ramped up about it, but I am excited, and I think the players are excited to be playing somebody else, because we've been beating up on each other for a long time.
You hear that common refrain, whether it's football, baseball, we're beating up on somebody else. And Coach Maneri, in a cut we had earlier, Tyler made mention of the fact that he gets nervous because you don't know, you haven't had a chance to play anybody else. You did have a couple of fall ball opportunities. I would be curious if at some point, I mean, I've called for this for college football for a long time, and I know Coach Beamer did too. Let's play an exhibition game.
Yeah.
But, most coaches, especially in football, I know, are, dare I say, paranoid. God forbid you get hurt in an exhibition game relative to a real game. But baseball, I get the value of. I mean, look at what spring training is.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And I know there's conversations about starting next fall expanding to more of those exhibition type of games that still be within the context of the fall, not in the preseason stuff like we've been doing these past couple of weeks. But yeah, just give yourself the ability to go against somebody else, and it could be a Division II team or an FCS. Not FCS, we're still Division I. Right. You know what I mean?
I do.
At a lower level that can, just knock the rust off a little bit and give you an idea of what you have ahead of an opening day. And again, that's why you play these non-conference series against these mid-major to lower tier programs that, you can hopefully go out there, pick up a win and kind of knock the rust off where you take on the Clemsons and obviously the SEC slate coming up here in a couple of weeks.
I asked this observationally somewhat, and I mentioned this to Jack earlier. I want to get your take. Is there any added pressure on a guy like Monty Lee this year? He is now the highest paid assistant coach in the country. We know he was, heavily considered to be the head coach here. We know he's been a good head coach at Charleston and Clemson and had playoff teams. But when you assume that role of highest paid assistant, we know about it in college football right now.
Yep.
Does it come with more?
I think so, as it probably should. And, he's no longer overseeing recruiting. That's Terry Rooney's job now, so he can kind of singularly focus on hitting in the offense, and you obviously want that to be very productive. And we obviously know what he was able to do 2 seasons ago when he came back to Carolina, and the uptick on offense that we had in 2023 that led that team to going to that super regional where they came up short against Florida. So yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of focus on what he's going to be doing, and that's his area of specialty. And if you're only scoring 1 or 2 runs a game, then you're going to be looking at him saying, what are we paying all this? Kind of said in a way when he got introduced, like, hey, might be turning this thing over to Monty Lee in a couple of years. So no pressure. This just might be your show to run in a couple of years if things go the way we think it's going to go. But that's obviously a long way away and a lot of time between now and then. But he's somebody that's very much beloved here at Carolina. Not only with the fan base, but everybody on the roster. There were guys that were advocating for him to be the head coach when Kingston got let go, and this is the next best thing of keeping him on staff under Maneri.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned he's not the recruiting coordinator anymore in terms of title, but still an excellent recruiter. So there is that. He does build a lot of good relationships. One of the things that we talked about today, too, is the absence now, obviously, of Cole Messina. Cut 4, please, Dave. Monty Lee was asked from a leadership standpoint on this roster, who fills that void?
Well, that's a great question. I think that, look, leadership comes from having stripes on your sleeves, right? The guys that have been in the program, that have been there and done that, have been through the ups and the downs and have stripes on their sleeves, so to speak. That's a term that Coach Tanner used to use all the time. You got to have the leadership from the veteran players. And, the guys like Kennedy Jones, who's in his second year in the program, but is an older player. Guys like Blake Jackson, guys like Ethan Petrie. Look, everybody talks about Ethan Petrie. I don't know if a young man could have assumed a better role from a leadership standpoint or stepped up in the leadership department more than Ethan. Ethan has been phenomenal and just so selfless, and it's just all about the team. Talmadge Lecroy, Talmadge is going to get an opportunity to catch, which, we believe is his more natural position. And look, anytime you move behind the plate, you have to assume some leadership role there, because you're the one player that ties the pitching staff and the offense together. So Talmadge is going to have to assume some leadership, and you can see the selflessness come out of Talmadge. He's a senior now. He's been through the ups and downs and all the battles and faced a ton of adversity and had some success. And I'll tell you this about Talmadge Lecroy. Talmadge Lecroy led us in hitting in the fall and the preseason in inter squads. Over the course of all those inter squads, he was the most productive hitter out of our whole group. So we expect a big year out of Talmadge. But can you replace a Cole Messina? No. Look, it's really, really difficult to replace the level of leadership, but also the level of production that you get out of Cole. What you hope happens is that 2 or 3 guys can replace that production collectively together. It's really more about the sum of the parts than it is one particular player, because you just can't replace a superstar caliber player like a Cole Messina year in and year out.
It's an interesting answer that he gives there too, and because of the position Cole played. Look, I go back and I often make mention of my high school catcher Hollis Rogers, who I for 3 years, and I just know this from my own experience. Any of us that have played baseball, the catcher is a different person.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe when he mentions what Talmadge might be able to do, stepping into the role of catcher, and how it's kind of he and both Monty and Coach Maneri have kind of made mention of a change that's come over him. Leaders can take a lot of different roles and stuff, but the catcher is so unique. And when that person is a leader too, like the leader, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, again, you're kind of the quarterback of the defense, the literal signal caller out there when it comes to pitches and stuff like that. And you're going to be looked to as a leader regardless of who you are or not. And Cole Messina fit that role perfectly, and we'll see if Talmadge LeCroy is going to be able to do the same thing.
I tell Hollis all the time, hey, still miss you. And that was a long time ago, Tyler. But
sounds like he was special.
Man, you just you build those relationships. It is
right.
hard to replace. Lots more to do in our opening day special. We're live at Village Idiot on Whaley. Come say hey.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, and 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network, powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass, shepherdsglass.com. In Chafin and West Columbia, The Game TV, sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
This is Andrew Perloff with a Sports Minute sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. As we dive in the NFL offseason, the Brett Favre prophecy is picking up steam. The idea is that Aaron Rodgers follows Favre's footsteps and goes from the Jets to Minnesota. And then once he gets there, magically resurrects his career, just like Favre. The Vikings have a young QB in J.J. McCarthy, but he's coming off an injury. Rodgers makes sense as a bridge guy. Then who knows? History repeats itself, and Rodgers has one more fantastic season. I'm Andrew Perloff.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultrafine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-242-1551. That's 800-242-1551. 800-242-1551. Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Halftime Show with Terry Ford and Tyler Head on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, welcome back in. Our special opening day program rolling on. Got a packed house in here in Village.
Yeah, it's getting busy.
Yeah. We're about an hour and 10 minutes away from first pitch and inside of an hour until our broadcast begins. Derek Scott, Stuart Lake on the call. Welcome back in. Jay and Tyler with you. The Godfather, Brian Glenn, hosting us today. We'll get him back over here.
He's schmoozing with the people.
In just a little bit. Let's make sure here. Hold you that. All right, we're good.
We're good.
Tyler, yeah. Can you hear Tyler good? Because he's got a text.
So our guy, Trey, on the text line says, I just want to be clear. The Village 80 is an institution, a resolute torch of hope and quality in an overcomplicated pizza market. Sports seasons come and go, but the Village 80 is forever. Brian Glenn, 2028.
Oh, wait, you're running for president?
We announcing your bid?
I mean, should I?
Well, he just said you were.
Trey is nominating you.
Would that be our Trey? Would that Trey Dyson?
It doesn't have a last name.
Oh.
Well, it doesn't matter what Trey it is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you're running for president. Yes.
Okay. I'm in.
I know a fundraiser.
I will. Yeah. I also, I bet I'll have some fun in press conferences. That's for sure.
Oh, dude.
You good debater?
I feel pretty confident in my debating skills, and if not, we'll just toss knuckles and see what happens.
Sling mud.
Yeah, why not? All right, that's I'm here for that.
Well, Trey's a fan, whoever he is.
Okay.
The thing is, before we commit you to running for president or anything, we probably should ask the boss.
We probably should ask her. I did. I was 5th grade treasurer.
There you go.
Campaign slogan: "Win with Glenn."
Hey, look at that!
Oh man, that writes itself,
right? I mean,
now, what were your responsibilities as treasurer in 5th grade? You handle a lot of money there.
I had to co-sign like the checks in the principal's office, but the principal, Mr. Grimm, always had atomic fireballs. That was really the only reason that I ran for it.
See, that's like I was president of 4-H in like 5th grade. I just wanted to be president of something. I didn't want to take on any responsibility. I just want to say, hey, I was president.
They
start handing me this notebook of things I got to do. I'm like, I don't want this.
I would have done anything to get out of class. And then, the atomic fireballs, I knew he had a big bowl of those there. So that was pretty much it. I remember my campaign speech. I was like, I'm good at math and I want to be the treasurer. So, yeah.
Well, Beth is nominating you for governor now. So these people want you.
Well, that comes up next year, man. So you got to,
political form of some way.
Did Trey launch my political career?
I think he did. Win with Glenn. It writes itself.
I appreciate you, Trey.
It does. But now, the gubernatorial race is next year.
Some things have probably come up if I do run.
Oh, yeah, you don't. Well,
but nothing too bad.
That's good.
I think I can defend most of my actions that I remember.
Have the statute of limitations passed?
I was going to say, I mean, my concern now is the 5th grade Treasury embezzlement scandal, and we don't need that.
I was cleared of all charges.
There was a bunch of them missing atomic fireballs.
Yeah.
Ended up in your cubby.
Right. Why is there an extra crate of fireballs, and where did the money go?
Hey, I just signed a check, man.
Yeah, hey, that's right. You had access. You were legitimately elected.
I added it up, and it made it. The numbers checked out, and I signed it.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. We do appreciate Brian having us out here. Come say hey. Good crowd in here right now ahead of the ball game. Slice and a soda every home game, not just right now. Every home game all season long. Slice and a soda, $5.99. Slice and a pint, $6.99. You can get whatever you want. Or you can just have a pint, or you can just have a slice.
Yeah, they are.
Is that the Courtney Levitt I'm looking at right
is,
there?
and he's having the slice and a pint.
Oh, my. The Courtney Levitt. Wow.
Former captain, right? What are you, captain?
I don't know what he was.
He's
president
of the Letterman
What do you call yourself there,
Association.
Levitt? He's not going to answer that. I know he was. I know he's in charge of the Letterman's Association for a while.
Yep.
Yeah, although he made his wife do all the work.
She still does.
Yeah, she's still here. Yeah, he's smart. See, he married up. He knows what's up. That's right. But no, lots of good stuff in here today. We do. This is seriously. We like you said. We've been doing this. You've been over here 10 years, and I really do feel like most of those 10, we've opened up the season with you.
I think so. Yeah. Other than those weird pandemic years.
Yeah. Other than that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think no. You know what? In 20, we would have been here because it didn't start shutting down until like
later.
Well, like
it was March. It was right before March Madness.
So we were probably here. Now 21, we would not have been. But 20, I would think we were here. And you want to make you feel old and me?
Oh no.
This summer is going to be 10 years since Haney and I did our final show together down at 5 Points.
Oh, really?
Isn't that crazy?
That was when I called the upset of American Pharoah at Saratoga.
Look at you. Got any lottery numbers for us?
17.
All right, write these down.
I can give you my roulette numbers.
All right, whatever it takes. Now, we appreciate Brian having us out. And, again, they're here till 10 o'clock tonight. And I would say later than that down at 5 Points tonight.
Yes, at least till midnight.
There you go. You won't be there then, will you?
No. Okay. Well, if I am, something is going drastically awry.
Don't worry. Everything will be fine.
But we got the special down there, too.
There you go. All right, look at that. Beautiful. So wherever you want to get a pint and a slice or a soda and a slice, you can do it. Village Idiot here or in 5 Points. Final half hour.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
When it comes to protecting my family's future, I want a life insurance company that's at the top of their game. That's why I got same-day coverage through Ethos. There was no paperwork, no waiting around, and no medical exam. I just answered a few health questions online, and Ethos set me up with a $3 million policy for about $2 a day. Go to tryethos.com and get it done today. That's TRYETHOS.com. TRYETHOS.com. Sample rates as a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Don't wait. If your HVAC system needs repairs, AAA Heating and Air has a limited time offer just for you. Get up to 12 months. Payment plans on repairs with no credit check required. All you need is to be a homeowner with a valid bank account. This is your chance to stay comfortable without breaking the bank. But hurry, offers like this don't last long. So do what I did and call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Looking for a great job with a winning team? Join American Italian Pasta Company, part of Winland Foods, right here in Columbia, where they've been proudly producing Mueller's pasta for nearly 30 years. They offer competitive pay, great benefits like 401k match, and paid parental leave. They're hiring industrial multi-craft maintenance techs, packaging, and press operators. Positions available on both first and second shifts. A high school diploma or GED and manufacturing experience are required. Apply today at winlandfoods.com/careers and grow with us.
Do you have sagging, soft, or bouncy floors in your home? Well, this could be a sign of rotten wood caused by moisture in your crawl space. Damaged wood in your crawl space can affect your home's foundation, and that can affect your home's value, and nobody wants that. Say goodbye to sagging floors and hello to a stable foundation. Contact Canty today for your free inspection at 803-424-8380 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $5.99.
Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $5.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $5.99 original bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guaranteed details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. The best selection of new Chevys. Right now. No hassle, no ridiculous add-on stickers. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play stopped, opt out.
Your garage door could be a ticking time bomb. Seriously, did you know 20 to 30,000 garage door accidents happen every year in the U.S.? How does that even happen? Well, your garage door has 20 or more working parts and opens and closes 1,500 times a year. That's a lot of wear and tear. Don't wait until something breaks and you get stuck. Text TECH to 323232 right now for your ProCheck multi-point inspection only from OGD. Overhead garage door. With thousands of 5-star Google reviews, OGD is the garage door expert in Columbia. OGD is available 24/7 to help you with same-day service. So if your garage door is broken, stuck, slow, or squeaky, text OGD, the only name you need for your garage door. Text TECH to 323232 right now and get an exclusive link to special limited time savings. Text the word TECH to 323232 now. Text TECH to 323232.
Your home for the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game. WNKT Eastover, Columbia. A Cumulus media station. The postgame show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell.
Who the f*** are you, man?
Call or text 803-404-6100 on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, 3 o'clock on this Friday. Welcome back in. Not even the final hour at this point. Final 45 minutes or so of our special opening day broadcast. Alongside Tyler Head, I'm Jay Phillips. We have been here all afternoon long at Village Idiot on Whaley. Come by and say hey. You still got time for a quick slice and a pint?
That's right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got time before and after the game.
That's true. If you don't have time now and you really want a slice and a pint, then you can come by after the game. But we are literally steps away. It's just a quick walk. I mean, seriously, you can 5-minute walk and you're at the ballpark from here. But we thank Brian and we thank all of you for being with us, especially those of you who may already be tailgating and having some fun on a beautiful day. A little chilly, but a beautiful day in the capital city. And we hope we get some breaks in the weather over the weekend. A lot of you ask about that. So just, be asking around at the ballpark. There may be some announcements about that later as we look ahead to the weekend. But today, to start the 2025 season in the Paul Mainieri era, looks absolutely fantastic. And I'd be remiss one more time if I don't say happy Valentine's Day.
Yes.
To everybody.
Very important. Don't forget that day.
Treat your significant other well.
Again, can't believe Ford's girlfriend didn't want to spring for college baseball and pizza today.
Yeah, I don't know. Elijah Campbell is also away. Again, I know he's Valentining. Mm-hmm. He has taken his significant other up to Nashville for a concert and dinner. And
nice.
Yeah, so that's good.
No.
That's good. You got big plans with the missus?
Dinner reservations later on tonight. Gave her gifts this morning, and then I think we're going to hop over to Greenville tomorrow and hang out for a little bit.
Nice.
Do some stuff.
All right.
I've actually never been there. In my 2 years of living here, 3 years now, I've yet to go to Greenville.
It's a fun town, man. Greenville's nice. I without being disrespectful, which is not my intent, I prefer Asheville when I'm going up that way.
She liked Asheville a lot.
Yeah. But I make no secret of my affinity for Asheville. But Greenville's cool, man. And I got to tell you, for somebody who's from South Carolina, if you had told me like what Greenville is today, if you had told me Greenville was going to turn into this like 30 years ago, I'd have been like, Greenville? Are you serious? No way.
Yeah.
Like, no chance.
That's one of those, fastest growing areas in the country or something like that.
That's great. I mean, the automotive industry has been kind to the Greenville area in terms of folks coming in. But anyway, wherever you celebrate it, we love. Happy Valentine's Day to all, and we do appreciate everybody that's been with us. Jack Veltri stopping in a little bit earlier, David Cloninger as well. We've heard from coaches and analysts, and we'll continue to do some of that as well. Dawn Staley's team winning last night. They've got the big one with UConn on Sunday afternoon over at the arena. Obviously, that one's been sold out since they put tickets on sale. National broadcast on ABC. And, real quick before we talk more baseball, with Southern California beating UCLA last night and Juju Watkins going off, and we see Texas beating Carolina. Yeah, LSU has Texas on Sunday. We've got a pretty wide open race right now, which I kind of like.
Yeah, it's certainly anybody's. And, of course, Carolina's 2 losses have come on the road. So you feel like if they had a rematch with UCLA or Texas, you feel better about those on neutral courts. And, again, a lot of basketball to be played between now and then. But, if we get the version of the team that played Florida last night, I don't know that there's anybody that can beat them, because that was as motivated as I think we've ever seen them.
Well, David told us that they were wishing they had already they could just go ahead and play UConn right now, but they'll get them on Sunday, so it should be a whole lot of fun. But looking forward to that one, and of course we'll have it here on the game as well. But it is Carolina opening day, and a lot of excitement, Tyler. Obviously, when there's a coaching change, there are reasons, and there are varying reasons. And let's face it, let's put it all in perspective. For South Carolina baseball, it isn't like Mark Kingston did a horrible job. It isn't like this thing was driven into the ground and or anything like that. Look, when the last football coach left, it had gone from bad to worse in the 2 seasons.
Yep.
When Frank Martin left, it was not the same kind of thing. It's just maybe time for a change. And with Mark, they were a playoff team. They hosted a couple of times. They made the Supers a couple of times, but they didn't get back to Omaha. And there was just a feeling of, if this is the right way to put it, unfulfillment. You felt like there were more resources at your disposal than you were utilizing properly. However, that may have meshed. And it just didn't come together.
Yeah, what Kingston was able to accomplish here in his eight years would be acceptable at 90% of places across the country. Here's different, though. And again, when you have the history of success for what Ray Tanner did, winning back-to-back, playing for a third in 2012 before he ultimately decided to retire and become athletic director, that sets the standard pretty high. And again, you don't envy the guys like Holbrook and Kingston that have to follow that, because that's the standard you're going to be compared against. Those guys weren't able to quite live up to that, which is why we're at this point now where he went out and hired his buddy and former adversary in Paul Maneri, who's been there and done that, and obviously brings that pedigree to the table. Now we'll see if he can get South Carolina back to that. It's a much different and I'd say even more competitive world of college baseball, particularly in the SEC, than when he stepped away a couple seasons ago. But again, you've got a guy that says, hey, I've been there. I know what it takes to get there. And that's the goal coming here at South Carolina. Will that happen in year number 1? We don't know. I think it's safe to assume, as Maneri's kind of alluded to himself, that, hey, he's not going to be here for 10 or 12 years. If he's going to have success, it's going to have to be relatively quickly and set this program up to be successful for the years after that. So, again, we're going to learn a lot in these first couple of series here as you get into conference play and then see what the season takes on. But as we know, I mean, God, last year, Carolina was 13-17 in conference play and still, made the tournament as a high seed in one of the regionals. So you just have to do enough to get into the field of 64 and then go from there.
Well, I like what you said too about, the angle from Coach Maneri of, I know what it takes. Look, Chad Holbrook knew what it took in terms of being top assistant at North Carolina, where they played for titles, and at South Carolina, where they played for titles. Mark had been on teams as an assistant, but you're right. With Chad, almost always an impossible task. Again, we've seen it in so many sports through the decades, right? The guy
always living it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy to follow the guy. It's just so hard. Take that as you will. With Mark, all right, he wasn't the guy to follow the guy, but the fan base didn't let go, rightly, of the expectations and the desire. And with Paul, it's different. I don't want to say this is like when Lou Holtz got hired, because Lou Holtz took over a team that was not good. And in his first year, they were not good. My point being, you should you better make the tournament over here. I don't care who you are. Now, look, if Paul Maneri, if for whatever reason, God forbid, this team didn't make the playoffs this year, Paul Maneri's not getting fired because of it.
No.
That being said, he expects to make the playoffs.
Sure.
You and I, and everybody listening right now, expect them to make the tournament. I expect them to host every year because that's what I think Carolina baseball is. Will you? I don't know. There's a lot of good teams. It's also fair to ask at this point in time, Tyler, like we're seeing in basketball, is Southeastern Conference baseball, for as great as it has been for a long, long time, as good as it's ever been when you incorporate what Tennessee has become, where they used to not even care about baseball,
right?
What Georgia has become, what Kentucky has become, what Florida is, what Vandy is, what Arkansas is. A&M just won a national title, and their coach left for Texas, and Texas might be the most storied program we've ever had. And, oh, by the way, LSU is really good. Oh, by the way, the 2 Mississippi schools have won national championships within the last decade. I don't know if this conference has ever been better top to bottom.
Yeah, and look, you've been watching college baseball for longer than I've been alive, and I know in my lifetime it certainly feels like this is the best that's ever been. And look at the D1 baseball preseason top 25, and it's littered in the top 10 and throughout the entire top 25 with SEC teams.
All those in the top 10. Is that right?
Let's see.
Top 10?
Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6.
Yeah.
6 in the top 10. Again, this conference is good at everything. Great in football, obviously the best year in basketball it's ever had, and maybe on the way to the best year in baseball as well, and going to be well represented in the tournament a little bit later on in the year. And hopefully South Carolina is one of those teams that, again, is not projected as of right now. And I get it. There's a lot of unknowns, especially when you bring in a coach that's been away from the game for a couple of years. But, we know what the talent of the guys returning is, and we like the talent that we have coming in via the portal and some of these guys coming in as true freshmen. And you hope that's the right combination to find your way into the field of 64.
Even if Paul's been away for a couple of years, I do think the desire and the hunger are there. Monty's been in it the whole time. Coach Rooney's been in it the whole time. So the assistant coaches know what's up in terms of what these guys need to keep doing. And Paul will then lend his expertise. Dave, if you will, cut number 13 on our list today. Here's Coach Mainieri on what opening day still means to him.
Well, it's the same as it was the previous 39 opening days for me. The unknown. It's not like, like basketball and softball. They get all these exhibition games. We don't get that until the last few years, really. We didn't even have any fall games. This year we got to have 2. But, even still, it's the unknown. You're playing these intra-squad scrimmage games. You think you have a pretty good reading on your team. Every hitter is facing an SEC caliber pitcher, and every pitcher is facing an SEC caliber hitter, but they're your own guys, and they get to know each other so well. And then all of a sudden, opening day, there's a team across the field with a different color uniform, and you don't know anything about the players, and it's just the unknown that makes you anxious. But I have a lot of confidence in this team, and I think I've expressed that. A lot of people are not really giving us much of a chance or much credit, going into this season. But personally, I like our team, and I think we're going to put a solid lineup out there. We may not have the 98-mile-an-hour flamethrower on Friday night, but we've got a bunch of guys that I think are going to be very competitive out there on the mound. And we're going to play good defense behind them. We're going to play good, fundamentally sound baseball, and we're going to take it one game at a time. But I would not at all be surprised if we go out there and do something good this year.
It's interesting to hear him say what he says, and he said it in a couple of different settings this week, Tyler, about not many people giving us an opportunity. Earlier, we heard from Aaron Fitt. Right now, they aren't real high at D1 baseball on where Carolina is. It's not a matter of disrespect. Again, it's a matter of looking at least and trying to project based on the reality of the situation.
Sure.
With all due respect, if Mark were still here, maybe being given one more opportunity after last year, I think nationally there might be almost, I don't want to say a malaise, right? I don't want to go that far with it, but man, I'm not so sure what's going to happen in South Carolina. Right?
Yeah.
Well, they made the change. And so now, while you might still look at the team that way, when you look at who's running it, I think there's almost like a cautious, but Carolina might like being that team that's not being thought of.
Can always play the chip on your shoulder card. And listening to what Aaron said to you guys the other day, they're not in the top 25. They're not in the field of 64 projections, but he didn't sound like he'd be all that surprised they did end up being a tournament team. Because again, you do have the pedigree of the head coach that's been there, and you do have high-level players like Petrie and Jones and guys like that coming back for another year, in addition to great ads out of the transfer portal like Henry Kazmar, who everybody's very excited about, and certainly excited to see what he's going to be doing this season as well, where you could see a pathway for it to happen.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Again, Carolina baseball coming up in about a half hour's time. Derek Scott and Stuart Lake on the call. Jay and Tyler with you from Village Idiot, where a lot of the folks that are here are obviously based on their outfits anyway, Tyler, about to head to the ballpark.
I can tell.
Either that or they're just, really excited, Carol, like the guy in the jersey down there. He's just a really excited fan. But I imagine he's heading to the ballpark. All right. Lots to get to here in the final half hour or so of the program. More from Coach Mainieri and Coach Lee. You're listening to a special edition, opening day edition of the program right here on The Game.
100.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, and 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Here's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft, Green Street in the Vista. Craft beer famously hopped. The Gamecocks women play Florida Thursday at 6:30 p.m. on our sister station 98.5 OMG. USC Baseball opens up with Sacred Heart this Friday at 3:45 p.m. That's what's on tap on The Game. Sponsored by Columbia Craft.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Take up to $20K off new Silverados.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. Together, let's drive.
It's time for the Columbia Boat Show, February 21st through 23rd, presented by Putnam's Harbor at the South Carolina State Fairgrounds. Explore hundreds of boats from over 75 brands and find the perfect boat for life on the water. Enjoy exclusive deals on marine products, chat with experts, and dive into family fun with face painting, live music, food trucks, and kids fishing clinics with free rod and reel combos for each participant. Don't miss the Midland's premier boating event, February 21st through 23rd. Visit thecolumbiaboatshow.com to purchase tickets today.
Get ready to smile because Herndon Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy dealer, is offering an amazing deal right now. Get up to $20,000 off new Silverados. Yes, you heard that right. Up to $20,000 off. Don't wait. Head over to HerndonChevy.com today and drive home in the truck of your dreams. Chevy, together let's drive.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile.
Call 803-510-5447 for complete details.
Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers, reminding you that no gift communicates affection more perfectly than fine jewelry. So this Valentine's Day, why mess around? We have thousands of items in every price range, and if you don't know what to get, our staff can help you get exactly the right Valentine's Day gift. And this particular year, diamond studs are the hottest thing going. We have them starting with 1/4 carat total weights for just $99. So come see us at Traditions on Sunset in Lexington and at Sand Hills across from the fountain.
Even if you haven't seen them yet, you know they're coming. Weeds. I'm Paul Romanstein, proud owner of Midlands Landscape and Lawns. And now is the time to get started on that beautiful lawn. Sign up for our Midlands Green Treatment Program and our lawn experts will give your turf the fertilization it needs while conquering the weeds. Aren't you ready to have a green, lush lawn this year? Give us a try. Midlands Landscape and Lawns. Schedule an appointment today on hateweeds.com. That's right, hateweeds.com.
Happy Valentine's from Pope Davis Tire and Automotive.
Thinking about what to get for that rendezvous with a special someone?
Don't show up with temporary things like flowers or chocolates.
Give your lover something long-lasting and meaningful, like affordable new tires.
Pope Davis has the top 17-inch size for $70.
And the top 20-inch size for $125.
With a 50,000-mile warranty, so basically like a diamond.
Find the right tire at the right price at PopeDavisTire.com.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. Shepherd's Glass.
This Valentine's Day, forget the cliches and embrace the chaos. Because love is messy, beer is bold, and Savage Craft is bringing Roses and Rebellion weekend. Friday, February 14th, indulge in our beer and chocolate pairing. Or keep it simple with Savage Valentine's Dinner for two. Live music from Dave Love, 7 to 10 p.m. On Saturday, Rebellion Night, our Halloween emo party. Do you have your dark eyeliner? Check. pop punk anthems? Check. Join us for live music from Brand New Eyes from 7 to 10 p.m. and then an all-night soundtrack of grunge, pop punk, and emo classics. On Sunday, it's Galentine's Rooftop Brunch and Sunday Fun Day. Gather the crew for bottomless mimosas and a pancake bar. Belt out your favorites at karaoke with Linda Carr from 12 to 3 p.m. And then vibe with live music from Britton Gold from 4 to 7. Food and drink specials all weekend long honoring Roses and Rebellion. Tickets and pricing available at savagecraft.com. See you there.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
Post-game show with Jay Phillips and Elijah Campbell on the Game Network and on the 107.5 The Game app.
All right, welcome back in. Our special opening day broadcast continues live from Village Idiot on Whaley. Appreciate Brian Glenn and the crew for having us out here today. Appreciate all of you who have responded to the tweet from earlier. Had a guy hit me. Let me give him credit. Hang on. I want to give the guy credit here because he's on to something, Tyler Head.
Okay.
His name was Brandon. And this morning, Brandon hit me and said, can we just call opening day Tommy Moody Day? We all know it was his favorite day, and we all miss him dearly. And I said, that's a very good idea.
I'm on board with it.
Today, just go ahead and call it that.
Yeah.
It's Tommy Moody Day. And if we can work on getting that more official in the future, we'll take whatever necessary steps. Casey, his daughter, was here earlier with some of the crew.
Yeah.
Great to see her.
We talked about him with Wes and Chris at 11, and I played his favorite version of "Take Me Out of the Ball Game" by Carly Simon, the one that he always requested anytime he was on to talk baseball.
I'm wondering though, he's not here to defend himself, but I wonder if it was because of Carly Simon, not so much singing it. Just saying.
It could be.
Just saying.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. I mean, I think the Carly Simon of Tommy's college days.
She was not hard to look at.
Not at all.
So that probably had some influence.
I'm just saying. It's just
a very good voice as well.
Just a thought.
But perhaps that had an influence on it. But he loved a lot of things by her, and particularly that version of "Take Me Out of the Ball Game."
Yeah, no, she was a big deal, no question. But we do miss Tommy, and I think about him all the time. But the days like this, especially, bring one of our absolute favorite people to mind. Got this note just now. As I like to say sometimes, maybe more often than I think I do, take it as you will. But we are hearing that Coach Mainieri will be meeting with Sacred Hearts head coach after the game. And at that point, they are going to make a decision on whether or not to play a doubleheader tomorrow. Okay. So post-game tonight, they will make a determination. So that's the best we've got for you. I would say, again, write that down in pencil.
Yeah.
If things change, but David Dare was just telling us, y'all know how it is. All right. So I'm not here to take any weather, folks. Look, they work hard. There are differing weather opinions on what tomorrow and Sunday might look like. That's the best I can say. I'm looking at one here that says tomorrow looks a little bit better, but that Sunday is it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Look,
here's the thing. They probably know more about what tomorrow is going to look like than Sunday. And if they think it's just best to go ahead and not roll the dice, then you probably are going to see 2 games tomorrow.
And look, we've lived in the South long enough to know that you can have a forecast that says 90% rain and it's sunshine and not a drop on that entire day. So you never really know. Again, they got to come up with some kind of plan, and maybe it is a doubleheader tomorrow just to be safe, or maybe they go through the full 3 days and we get lucky on Sunday. We'll we'll see. But I know they're going to be playing a game tonight.
Yes.
Or this afternoon.
just
However
a
you
little
want to
bit.
phrase it, starting at 4 o'clock.
That's right.
That'll be game number 1, and we'll figure out game number 2 and 3 after that.
That's right. So we'll see. But post game, we should get a little bit more information. So just stay tuned to Twitter or any other place you get your info, and we'll see what happens. In the meantime, let's get Dave. Let's go back to our cut list. One more here from Coach Mainieri. Cut number 20, please. Big picture stuff. This is Paul talking about what they want to do and how they discuss it.
Well, the goals for this team are the same as every team I've ever had, okay? At least over the last, the 15 years I had at LSU, okay? To get to Omaha is the goal.
See, buddy.
All right? To host postseason play in the regional and super regional, which means that you have to finish pretty high in this really tough league to be able to national seed and be able to host. But that's always going to be the ultimate goals for us, is to be one of the premier programs in the country. But I don't let our players talk about Omaha. I don't let them talk about being a national seed. Now everybody goes to the SEC tournament, but in years past, I wouldn't even let our team talk about making the SEC tournament, because I just want them to focus on the most immediate challenge that they have, and that's tomorrow's game. Not even thinking about Saturday's game or Sunday's game, just one game at a time. And that's what I have found is the best way, because I know it's ultimate coach speak, but this is the most difficult game to play. Forget the fact that it says Sacred Heart across their chest, and you don't think of them as a power. Hey, you're looking at a guy that lost a super regional to Stony Brook. Do you think I'm going to ever take anybody lightly? And Stony Brook beat our LSU team that year in the super regional because they were better than us. Sacred Heart is a defending conference champion and virtually has their entire team back. I'm not going to sit here and talk about Omaha or NCAA tournaments when we got to beat a really good Sacred Heart team, and we're going to play them 3 times. So that's where our focus is.
Great answer. In this day and age, does it get harder and harder to not have your guys talk about it? I imagine when they're back in their apartment or dorm, they may not heed their coach's advice.
He may not hear them say that,
Yeah.
but they're talking about it.
But I get what he's saying. Yeah. But I remember when Stony Brook went to Baton Rouge and won, man, and that shocked the baseball world. And it's just it's something, you can't take it for granted. And so while the expectations remain really, really high, it's a matter at this point of him first and foremost, Tyler. What do I have? And we don't know that answer yet. We know what you have in a couple of guys. I mean, I genuinely, you know what you have in Petrie, you know what you have in Jones, you know what you've got to some degree in LeCroy, but maybe not all the way yet. And a few other spots here or there. You know what you have in Becker, but you also know that what you have in Becker right now isn't really what you want from Becker in terms of his role. So what does that look like? How does that evolve? There are a lot of things here for a veteran coach to begin to kind of, narrow in scope and focus. And I don't necessarily envy the role because, again, you can't lower the expectation.
You can. And on that expectation, everybody knows what's expected here. You don't have to say it. And, I said this earlier today, that you don't have to plaster the word Omaha around the locker room. You don't have to join hands and chant it 3 times before the beginning of every game to manifest it into happening. Like, everybody knows that's what the standard at Carolina is. And again, it's been a long time since they've been there, and that's something that frustrates not only the fan base, but the people with inside the baseball, building as well. And they want to be the team that can finally break through and get Carolina back to where they think it belongs. Is that going to happen this year? We'll certainly have to see. But again, like you said, the expectation at the very least is hosting every single year and making the tournament. And again, you got 56 games and the tournament, the SEC and Hoover to play between now and then to put yourself in a position to make that happen.
We'll come back with some final thoughts on the weekend. And I've got one more cut that I'm going to play for you from Monty Lee that I think you'll want to hear because it's a pretty good one. We'll do that for you as we all get closer and closer to opening day 2025. You're listening to The Game.
107.5 The Game in Columbia, 100.5 The Game in Florence, and 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. The Game Network. Hate paying for streaming? Well, the 107.5 The Game app is free. Yes, free. Just download the 107.5 The Game app.
Love telling you about our good friends at Integrated Media, 803-948-8327. How you watching what you watch? Can you do it better? This is a great time of year as we conclude the basketball season. We start baseball season. Got a lot of fun things away from sports here coming up, including what's happening on Sunday with your favorite live comedic programming. Whatever it is that you like to watch, do it better with Integrated Media. And as we get closer to spring, if you've been thinking about an outdoor system, where you say, well, Jay, I mean, I don't want to have to bring the TV in or cover it up all the time or bring the speakers in. No. These TVs and speakers are meant to be outside all year long. Yes, even here in South Carolina. So one room, whole house, indoors, outdoors, Wi-Fi that works everywhere. Get your home theater set up better than ever before. 803-948-8327. You will love working with Integrated Media.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Currently car shopping? State Credit Union now has auto loan rates as low as 4.25% APR. Plus, you'll have no car payment for up to 90 days. Visit one of State Credit Union's 19 full-service branches or their website, scscu.com. That's scscu.com. And apply online for your new car loan today. That's scscu.com. Terms and conditions apply. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by the NCUA.
NIL is more important than ever to success in college athletics. Our friends at Garnet Trust are trying to build the best NIL program in the country for South Carolina student athletes. Head on over to garnettrust.com where you can support Gamecock athletes, get access to exclusive content, and help build the best NIL program in the country.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. Check out the Season of Love at South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 in Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers, reminding you that no gift communicates affection more perfectly than fine jewelry. So this Valentine's Day, why mess around? We have thousands of items in every price range, and if you don't know what to get, our staff can help you get exactly the right Valentine's Day gift. And this particular year, diamond studs are the hottest thing going. We have them starting with 1/4 carat total weights for just $99. So come see us at Traditions on Sunset in Lexington and at Sand Hills across from the fountain.
Powered by Integrated Media. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass. For auto, home, and commercial glass. ShepherdsGlass.com. In Chapin and West Columbia. The Game TV. Sponsored by Shepherd's Glass.
If you're listening to sports, if you're looking for an edge rusher, you're looking for a run stuffer, you're looking for a big-time player in the middle of your defense, you're in luck.
Mixed with pop culture, sprinkled with celebrity interviews.
You hated the title Everybody Loves Raymond. That's true. Is it appropriate for you to tell people to hurry it up?
It's appropriate on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Bill Burr is here.
I want to know who you defeated to get that title as best dad ever.
I'm the Gonzaga of dads.
And you're enjoying the Rich Eisen Show podcast. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet on the Game Network.
This is the last time this year. So let me hear you. Good and loud. All right, Gary. On 1. On 2. On 3. Take me out to the
gotta love it. Harry Carey, the late great Harry Carey with the I don't know who the Wrigley Field organist. That dude can play, man.
Yep.
He could play. That's
classic.
That's good stuff. Welcome back in, Jay and Tyler. Just a few more minutes. Captain David, Master Control. We're about to send you over, excuse me, to Derek Scott, Stuart Lake for the call of today's opener, the Paul Mainieri era getting underway. And Captain Dave, let's get one more here. I wanted folks to hear. Monty Lee was on with Jen and Preston and Bill yesterday, and they asked him, you worked for Ray Tanner. You know what Ray Tanner's all about. Now you're the first lieutenant to Paul Mainieri. What's it like working with both of those guys?
Well, Coach Mainieri's from South Florida and Coach Tanner's from Eastern North Carolina. That's really about the only difference that I can tell between the two guys.
It's a big difference,
Very,
though.
very
That's
similar.
a big difference, we should say.
That's about the only difference. Look, they both believe in fundamentals. They both believe in playing with great energy and having great attitudes at the ballpark. They don't accept anything but your best. I think that's the thing that just having Coach Mainieri, coming to the program, it gives me an opportunity to reflect on how special it was to work with Coach Tanner. But Coach Tanner and Coach Mainieri are exactly the same when it comes to that. They expect your absolute best every single day on every single rep of practice. They don't let you get away with nothing. So I think they just they hold you accountable in all phases of the game. They hold you accountable academically and off the field about being a good citizen. Those are just those traditional values, that you don't always see, sometimes in this day and age in coaching. But I love what Coach Mainieri has brought to the program from a value standpoint and a work ethic standpoint. And it's very, very similar to what I experienced working for Ray Tanner.
Monty Lee on the early game yesterday. I think that's a great point. And we can never, no matter what sport, Tyler, team, coaching change we're talking about, you can't help but do a compare and contrast to whoever was being replaced. So, what I'm about to say, is going to reflect upon Mark, but I don't mean it in a negative way or anytime these kind of things happen, but the accountability aspect and demanding your best. I think it's not that Mark or any coach that gets let go anywhere, doesn't want or expect the players that he or she coaches to give their best. I think a lot of times, though, it's about how they get it from you. And whether or not the kids on the team, when I say kids, because I'm talking college sports right now, will respond to that. And I think there is oftentimes, for lack of a better way to say it, a fear of failure, not in yourself as a player, but a fear of letting down that coach because of what that coach does to you. And I think that's where Monty's going with it.
Yeah.
We all, Ray, I used to joke about it. We all know Ray was like the bat whisperer, right? And I just so hoped, and he let me down a few years ago. And I was like, hey, did you ever have one of those where it was like, hey, see that pretty girl in row 3? She's not going to date you if you don't get a home run right here.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I never did that. But in all seriousness, it was I can't let him down.
Yep.
And maybe certain people just inspire that more in a player.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. And look, for anybody to get to a head coaching position at this level of baseball, you know your stuff. You know baseball, you know the ins and outs. Nobody's stupid in that regard. It's just certain guys can get more out of their players. Certain guys can maximize the talent that they have, different degrees. And again, Coach Mainieri did that in a time at LSU, and that's already proven. And I go back to when this hire was made last summer, and it took all of us by surprise. Kind of came out of left field, and Mainieri wasn't on even Ray Tanner's board when he called him to ask about somebody else, supposedly, according to what Mainieri said here. But Ray Tanner, likely knowing that was going to be his last hire for baseball, wanted to make something that was going to have a positive effect on this program. And why not somebody that you went head to head with, that his coaching style, and somebody that got the best of you at times as well, that you think could bring this program to where you had it, if not better than where you had it, over a decade ago. And again, we still got to wait and play some games, and we're about to do that in 23 minutes from now. But all indications are that this is going to be a good thing for the program.
I feel like this is a lot more, to your point. I feel like this is a lot more about getting the most out of people than it is, you're right, than about baseball. Yeah, I mean, in today's world with analytics and the things, there's a lot of ways to talk about it. Jack Veltri had a piece this week at Gamecock Central with Ray Tanner. It's going back, I think it was Tanner English that he was mentioning. Hey, like, do you know what your numbers look like when you just make contact? Like, I don't know, what do you mean? Like, no, just, in other words, just go hit the, but it wasn't like, if you do so and so and so, no, just, and I think instilling the belief, just go make contact with the ball, man.
Sure.
Like, let's, so go get the most out of a person. The analytics are there. Can you inspire that kid?
And analytics have taken over baseball in a lot of ways. And that's something Coach Kingston certainly, referenced in his time here. And when Maneri in his opening presser was asked about it, he says, I like to go by the feel as well. And not that analytics aren't important, but some of those old school guys like Maneri, like Ray Tanner, just have a feel about certain things, make adjustments because of that. And again, they've both been successful in doing that. And sounds like that's what's going to be coming to this program as well.
Yeah. Once again, if you just tuned in, maybe you're pulling into the parking lot over around the ballpark, or anybody that's interested across the state, we have been told that Coach Maneri and the Sacred Hearts head coach, forgive me, I don't have the name, I apologize for that, will be meeting after tonight's ball game and look at the weather forecast and try to determine what tomorrow looks like. Obviously, speaking of Ray Tanner, tomorrow is a massive day for Ray and Karen and the kids and the entire Gamecock baseball family, because tomorrow, of course, is the day that Ray Tanner Field becomes official. So that's going to happen.
Yep.
It's just a matter of whether maybe it's game 1 of 2 or game 1 of 1. I don't know yet.
And he's got to go out there and nail that first pitch.
Oh, man,
that's a lot of pressure.
Well, I did. We had Coach Maneri on and on Monday, and Elijah and I asked him about that. Like, hey, you got to coach him up. And he go, oh no, he's thrown enough batting practice. But you do have to nail it.
We were debating today because Donati's going today.
Yep.
Beamer's supposed to go on Sunday.
Yeah,
assuming we have a game 3.
That's right.
In order of 1 to 3, who has the better first pitch?
I'm gonna give Ray the benefit of the doubt.
You would think.
Obviously,
throwing a lot of BP out there.
Yeah, I think Jeremiah was mostly a golfer in his athletic days. He said
he was a basketball player
and a
too,
basketball.
right?
Well,
Yeah.
he better have been because he's like 6'5".
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
I did not know he was that tall until he was in the studio the other day. I was like, man, and Shane, Shane was like a receiver, right?
Yeah, didn't have to throw the ball a lot.
So I'm gonna say Ray, and then I think Shane and Jeremiah at that point ought to have some kind of friendly wager on who throws the better pitch.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, we'll see. Thanks again to Brian Glenn and his crew for having us out here at Village Idiot. To all of you who stopped by and said, hey, thanks as always to Jack Veltri, David Cloninger for hanging out with us too. Happy Valentine's Day. We love. Treat your significant other well. Enjoy the weekend. It's a long weekend. All of us on the game will be back with you on Tuesday. And most importantly, enjoy opening day and opening weekend at the ballpark. For Tyler Head, I'm Jay Phillips. We will do it all again next week. Go Cox.